Hey y'all, hey! I am Joy Bailey. I am a licensed mortgage loan officer here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have been a mortgage loan officer for 10 years, and I talk about the good, the bad, and ugly of home loans. And I try to bring y'all live streams when we have breaking or important news. And we had a lot of news. We have had a lot of news. We've had a lot of changes in the last 48 hours. If you're watching this next week, next month, next year, it is 2 days after the election. Today is Thursday, November the 7th, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I had to write down a full outline of what I wanted to cover because I didn't want to miss anything. So, y'all, welcome as you come in. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. I need the engagement, y'all. I have all but abandoned this channel. I spend all my life over there on the TikTok because TikTok is so easy. It's like, boom, press play. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, hold on, let me turn this off. It's so easy. And so when it's that easy, I just spend more time over there. I hadn't done a live stream over here in a while, and so none of my equipment is working. Like, I literally went out to get batteries to make my camera work. I mean, to get my microphone to work. It ain't. I needed to do a software update to my MacBook to make my external, my Sony, I use a Sony camera, to make it work and connect. It didn't. So just thank y'all for being here. So again, please make sure y'all are hitting the like button and engage with me. Y'all, also do me a favor and drop in the comments and tell me where y'all are at, what state y'all are in. I would love to know. Why is my phone buzzing like this? Ain't nobody called me. But so this is what I want to do. Because like I said, we have a whole lot of breaking news. So the gist of what I would like to cover is, now that we have had the election, we know who the next president is going to be. I want to give a disclaimer. Okay. I didn't vote for him, and I'll talk a little bit about that experience. But I am in real estate, and he has been a real estate tycoon. And I think that it's important to highlight and identify what the potential pros and cons are going to be. I know it's kind of a polarizing thing. Some people feel a lot more passionately that he was elected or that he wasn't elected. Y'all, let's make it a safe space, okay? Because some people, it's raw, right? And so we want to be respectful to everybody's feelings, all right? Like I said, we'll get down the pathway of my thoughts and feelings, but I want to talk about the impact of his election, particularly the immediate impact. I want to talk about how did we get here? I would like to say I ain't see this coming, but I really didn't see this coming. But we'll talk about that. I want to talk about the winners and losers in all of this. And by winners and losers, I mean based upon what he has proposed, specifically for the economy and the housing market, what's expected, what's the upside, the downside, what is it going to do, how's it going to impact you, how do you plan moving forward? And if y'all are so inclined, let's make it a roundtable discussion. I usually don't drop the link, but I would love to actually hear what it is y'all have to say, because I'm finding that people need to get stuff off their chest. They want to talk. And like I said, it's a safe space to do that. And so I would love to hear what your line of thought is. What are your hopes? What are you hoping to get out of this administration? Ooh, it's wild times. But here we are. Here we go. Again, y'all, please make sure y'all hit the like button for me and share this with anybody that you feel may benefit from it. Because again, I really, really, really would appreciate the help for the engagement. Like I said, since I've been away for so long. So thank you so much in advance. And if you are so inclined to support the channel, my Cash App is below. Let's see who we got here. Hey, Ronald in North Carolina. How you doing? What'd you say? TikTok is very engaging. Keep your head. I hope they don't take TikTok away. So low key, I was like, let me do a quick Google. So how does Trump feel about TikTok? Because it's supposed to, the 270 days seems, I think it's expiring like the 19th of January, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's like right around that election time. So I don't know. I have like 50,000 followers. I would hate to lose them, but I mean, the internet ain't real, so it's all good. But I'll spend, a lot of time, hopefully in the next 2 months, trying to get those people over here and developing my community over here, because that is something that I would like to make sure that I'm doing instead of just popping in and out, that we're actually developing a dialogue. Because what I have to offer is very, I think is unique. Compared to some of the other content creators in this space. Hey, Max in North Carolina. Oh, everybody in Charlotte? Okay. Are y'all 704 or 980? I'm 704. 980, man, you just got here. You just got here yesterday. You're not an original. New Jones, how you doing? Hey, y'all. Hey. Ontario. I feel honored. I'm everywhere. Oh my gosh. Have you always lived in Ontario? You trying to I know you ain't trying to come here. I mean, you might come on. It's an interesting place to be down here in the United States. You said you bought your house on this first term, so you can't complain. We're definitely gonna talk about that. And you're in the DMV. Awesome, 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 awesome. Love it, love it. Well, thank y'all again so much. So let's dive right in. Donald J. Trump has been reelected president, and he has not only just been reelected president. It was my hope that the outcome of the election would be immediate. I didn't want it to drag on and on and on and on and on. And to be fair, y'all, I will say things from multiple perspectives because I like to be fair in my line of thinking. So I give credit where credit is due, But so to that point, to be fair, I'm tired of elections going on to Saturday and Sunday and January. Like, what are we doing? So he made such a big fuss. Georgia was one of the states that kind of changed the way they did things. They had 80% of the vote when the polls closed. And so as those returns started coming in, I'm looking around with my homegirl, because I usually do an election party because like I really be about that democracy life. Okay, like I'm all in. I have voted every single election. I vote in primaries. I vote for dog catcher. Okay, and so this time, I was like, my friends was like, "Oh, girl, we come here." No, because I don't know how this gonna go. So let me see something right quick because I might need to be by myself. And so about 11 o'clock, 11:30, I said, "Oh, this sounds like they're giving a eulogy." And I packed my stuff up. I came home and I laid it down because I saw what was going on. I saw what time it was. And what was interesting to me is when the next day was interesting to me. The next day, I was very interested in who showed up and showed out and who didn't. I honestly, truthfully thought that this really was not about policies. It was not about policy for me. And as I stated before, I spent a lot of time on TikTok. And so I have a wider view of the world beyond my little circle of friends. And there were some thoughts and comments that I'd heard from people that I was like clutching my pearls, like, you think what? Surprised me. I learned things. And that's what I really like about TikTok a whole lot. I swear, I hope they don't do away with TikTok. But anyway, and so I would be sharing this with my friend group, and they would be like, girl, you sound ridiculous. That's not true. People don't think like that. Those people, they just getting attention. And I'm like, you not listening to me. You're not hearing what I'm hearing. My ear is to the streets, okay? And people said that they were interested in the economy. They said they was tired of being broke. They said that the gas was too high. They said that the food was too high. They said this rent is ridiculous. Somebody need to get control. And clearly, Joseph Robinette Biden was not the guy. And by association, a bit, I guess Kamala Harris wasn't the girl. They said, don't worry about us. Y'all done had the Megan Thee Stallion come and try to get our votes down here to the Black community. It was just, it was a win. It's a difference between not winning and losing, right? And she lost. She lost. And it looks like she lost primarily. Let me make sure I got the right article here. Yeah, it looks like she has, and I'm going to present this to y'all. It looks like that she lost primarily because people have not been pleased with the way things have been going as far as the housing market. And that's what I talk about. 38% of early voters say the housing affordability influenced their pick for president. And this was published on the 5th. So this was on election day, that afternoon. Okay. It says among voters who cast their ballots by November the 1st, 38% said that the issue of housing affordability impacted their choice in presidential contests, according to new survey data released by Redfin. Now, y'all, I got polled. I did a poll. I got sent a poll, and I did a poll. And I ain't gonna say I didn't care about the economy, because it asked you to rank it, right? It's like, oh, what's most important to you? I think it was like the economy, democracy, I think like transgender rights. There was about well, actually it was more than 5 or 6. It was a lot of different things. But I remember like it was kind of like a top 5. And inflation, all of that. And this is how people feel. They like, I'm trying to buy a house and I can't buy one right now. The Democrats are running my life. That's what the people said. I guess that's what they said. I'm assuming that's how they felt. I'm assuming so. But they had both talked about, it says here, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump had discussed their housing plans in detail during the election cycle. And apparently, maybe, possibly, I don't know if people were actually reading and listening. But according to TikTok, they were like, read the policies, read the plan. She don't have a plan. She can't answer questions, all of the things. She came out with a plan, but apparently it was not enough. It wasn't enough. It says voters were much more likely, Kamala Harris voters were much more likely than Donald Trump to say that housing affordability factored into their decision. 43% of respondents who already have voted for Harris say affordability impacted their pick, compared to 29% of responders who already had voted for Trump. Voters' perceptions of how mortgage rates would be impacted by the election are also tabulated. Roughly 1/3 of respondents believe that rates will fall under Trump's presidency, compared to about 1/4 of those who think the same under Harris' administration. So they felt like the race was going to keep going up and up and up and up. 32% versus 28%. I mean, they had other things they was concerned about too, but this is what I talk about. The economy and inflation. I pick protections for democracy, but that's another story for another day. Okay. So what was important to y'all? Do any of those kind of align with what y'all felt like? Because I think somebody already said they had bought a house, and so you can't complain. In the first term. And it's so funny because I didn't realize he was the president when I purchased my house, but he was. I purchased in 2017. I purchased my house. I closed December 22nd, 2017. I didn't think nothing about it. But yeah. Okay, you said mindful moments. Hey, you said grateful that it was a speedy outcome. At least we can move forward. I swear, because for me anyway, it was like I said, it wasn't coulda, woulda, maybe, possible. No, this is it. It was, we're done here. There was no going back and forth. There was no gray area about it. It was over. And low key, it was over before it started for me. I live in North Carolina, right? And we were one of the swing states. And again, I don't know where y'all follow me, but I was loud about supporting her. And again, because I would have been like that with any candidate, because I've just, like I said, I've always been politically active. I'm the girl that's gonna like call your phone and knock on your door and be like, "Oh, are you registered to vote?" So I did all of those things. I went to 3 rallies. I saw Kamala twice, and I saw, no, I'm lying. 2, 3. Yeah, I went to 3 rallies. I saw Kamala twice, and I saw Barack Obama once. And in a 10-day span of time, I saw Barack Obama on a Friday. That following Saturday, I saw Kamala Harris. And then I saw Bill Clinton at church on Sunday, at my church. Like, I didn't go see him. He came to see me. So when I heard that on the first day, or like that first few days of early voting, they said that the Democratic turnout was low. I said, oh, no, I'm lying. They said that the Black turnout was low. I said, oh. Got it. I see what's going on here. I see what's happening here. Hey, 21 people that's in the chat. Thank y'all so much for coming by. If you don't mind, just make sure y'all hit the like button. I really, really, really need the engagement. I never ask like this, but it's really important because I need to have my engagement up so I can get views and get this channel back going again. So thank you in advance. People are beyond pissed at the whole Biden administration, by extension with Kamala Harris. They were not messing with her at all. But the thing is, I couldn't understand is why they was pissed with him. Because, oh, thank you. Oh, look at God. I appreciate this transition. You said yours was the economy and border control. What state are you in? Where you at, Ronald? Ain't you in North Carolina? Let's see. People couldn't afford a comfortable life anymore, and that was a deciding factor. Yeah. Groceries was high as hell. Gas had gone up some, which, yeah, clothes, everything, way up. But this is an interesting comment right here. So when I talk about how did we get here, people were concerned about the inflation, but we got to remember, how did this whole thing start? Okay, let's quick trip down memory lane. Donald Trump was elected in 2016, right? He was president 2016, 17, 18. Things was, I guess it was fine. I don't remember that far back. I'll be honest with you. Interest rates was okay. I do remember it was a little slow because rates had gone up. And I don't know, I'll just tell y'all, when I was working at a bank when he was elected the first time. And I remember I worked all day, no problem, no big deal. I came home, he was elected. I went to work the next day, and the rate started going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. I was like, what the? Well, damn, if I'd have known this, I'd have worked harder yesterday. And I was serious about that. But we got, all the way up till the end of 2019 when we had the pandemic. Things were fine until the pandemic. But people kind of got a little lost in that chain of events and kind of forgot who was where and when, because that first 60, 90 days of even hearing about COVID, it being a thing over there in Wuhan, that they going on lockdown. What's wrong? Why y'all wearing masks? What's wrong with y'all? That's an over there problem. Because all my life, if there'd ever been a threat of any type of major illness, we've had Ebola outbreaks. I think we've had, I don't know, we had other West Nile. We've had other things that have happened that could have been highly contagious, but it was contained quickly. So I think a lot of people walking around with that confidence of, oh, whatever, they'll figure it out, right? So fast forward, he finally got around to saying something in March. But by the time he decided to say something in March, it was too late. It was too late. The damage was already started. They sent everybody home from work. You started working from the house. They immediately, the Fed chair, they started buying the bonds. They was like, we got to lower these rates. The Congress was like, we got to give these people some money. They said, hey, you know what? In this CARES Act, they shouldn't even pay no bills. Don't even worry about it. Don't make no student loan payments. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to make no mortgage payment. Let me tell you, you don't have to make no mortgage payment to the point where just call and say you ain't got it. You don't got to prove nothing. Just, you ain't got it. And people took advantage of that, right? That was the beginning of the destruction. When you put it in perspective, and like I said, my perspective is I sit here in this room and I talk on the phone to people and I pull credit reports and I look at people's assets. And I remember people were spending money that really wasn't there. They had the PPP, right? That's not the economy. That's fake. It was a fake world we were living in. It wasn't real. It was an artificial set of circumstances. It was an alternate universe, if you will. It was never real. But because when it comes to money, people remember. There's a saying that says, people, what they say, they'll forget what you say to them, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. People felt good. They was out going to the Cancun. They was here and there everywhere with their mask on, right? They was getting flight deals. It was a ball. It was a time. Interest rates were ultra low. They could go out, they could buy cars that they really probably shouldn't have had. But then, because of the pandemic, because of this global pandemic, there was a backlog on automobiles. And so that put pressure on the supply and the demand of the automobiles. And what happened? The price of cars went way up. I sat here in this room, pre-approving people left and right, all day long, everywhere. People was trying to use their PPP. Y'all, the people. Quick reminder. They ain't forgot. Okay? No matter who the president is, they know you stole that money. They know you don't own that business. Okay? That's that on that. But it was a time, right? So you're 100% right. This is everybody's perception of what happened, but it's the consequence of what happened before he was president. In that transitional period, when Donald Trump was president and Joe Biden started running, the only people that we really saw on TV that we felt good about and that we trusted, because we was looking for a daddy, right? We were scared little children. We were like, somebody tell us something. We had Governor Cuomo and we had Joe Biden. So it was like he was already president way before the election. And I think that can create a little bit of a gray area for people. You know what I'm saying? I'll never understand how people thought it was okay to spend money they didn't have. Well, that's America though. What you mean? That's normal. That's not abnormal. That's not abnormal. People do it all the time. That's what America is built on. If we weren't a nation of borrowers and credit, we wouldn't. We're trillions of dollars in debt as a country. What do you mean? Like we don't know how to do anything else. The economy wouldn't function properly if people didn't have debt. We live in a society where you spend just a little bit more than what you make. And it gets to a point where spending a little bit more than what you make, it can be for survival. You know, when you have a lower income, your lower socioeconomic bracket. But then it becomes a lifestyle, what they call it, lifestyle creep. You get a raise, you get a better job, you make more money. Because I can tell you myself, and I talk about this openly all the time. This ain't no secret. I don't lie because I don't want people to feel like I'm talking crazy about them, their situation, or anything like that. I'm a regular person too. I just happen to have a unique perspective in the career that I have. But it doesn't exempt me from anything. By all measures, I have been a high earner for the last, I'll say 7 of the last 10 years. I'm a single woman. I've earned above average income and I've been comfortable. But baby, when them checks was coming in, I was down to the Louis Vuitton, baby. I was there. I was at Louis Vuitton. Listen, I'll never forget this one of the sales associates sent me a text message and I laughed. I said, "Oh girl, I'm just pretending. This ain't who I really am." I was like, "Oh, I'm just playing." So that's what happened. That's what happened. And people bought houses, people bought cars. I don't think people were running. I don't remember seeing credit card debt like that. I didn't see credit cards like that until like 23. But they definitely had houses and cars and PPP loans and Chanel sneakers. If you want to know somebody that stole some PPP money, go and look at their social media page and look for some Chanel sneakers. Because them girls, they had every color. Okay. All the colors of the rainbow. Pink, blue, black and white, all of the colors. Why you got so many $900 sneakers? Where you going? What's happening? It's crazy. And so what ended up happening, unfortunately, was that people associated, oh, groceries are not expensive. Oh, well, I'm saving money because I'm not really going out to eat because all the restaurants are closed. Oh, this is great. Um, I'm saving money because I don't have to spend money on lunch because I'm working from home. Oh, this is okay. I'm oh shoot, like I can double dip. I can get 2 or 3 jobs. Okay, I'm working from home. I got this job. I got 2 laptops. Oh my, this is amazing, right? But it was all born out of the pandemic. It was not born out of somebody who was just, it was a stroke of genius and they figured out a way to allow everybody to prosper. In fact, it could be argued that that's not how it's supposed to work. And that's the problem that we're having right now. The economy doesn't work without poor people. People was so they was so fly. They had their nose in the air. They said, I'm not working at the TGI Fridays. Why? You 17. When else you supposed to work? I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. Y'all remember that? Everybody was a coach. They was a business coach. Everybody was selling courses. It was a time, but it was fake. It wasn't real. No student loans, no nothing. Nothing. But then I remember rent started going up and people was like, oh my God, my rent, it went up from $1,250 to $1,700. What? What are you talking about? Is that possible? What do you mean? Dang. Now also remember these same people, the same landlords, y'all didn't pay no damn rent either. Y'all remember that? Y'all had to pay no rent because they couldn't kick you out. It was a time everybody had all this income. Everybody. But it wasn't real. But again, they felt good. They was so warm and fuzzy feeling. They felt good, right? But it wasn't real. And there's consequences to everything. There's consequences. What is it? Equal and opposite reaction. For every action is an equal and opposite reaction. We didn't think the good times was going to end. I know we didn't in real estate. What? What do you mean? People was wanting to be loan officers. They was wanting to be realtors. Everybody, everywhere. Oh, this is easy. This is, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Multiple offer situations. The sellers had lost their damn minds. They was getting 20 offers and people was offering $100,000 more than what the house was worth because the interest rates were so low. Everybody could play. Everybody could play. People that was never supposed to own houses owned homes. Everybody could play. Everybody got a turn. So there's that. So now between, I think from 20, I can't remember if it was between 2021 going into 2022. I remember hearing them say, it might have been 22 going in, yeah, I think it was 21 going into 22. I remember hearing them say, oh, Americans are going to spend $5,000 more this year than they did last year due to inflation. Now, what now? I wasn't tripping because I was still making money at the time. I was like, okay, all right, whatever. At the end of the year, everybody does these market forecasts. The Mortgage Banker Association, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, I think like NAR, I think like Realtor.com. Everybody. When I tell you, didn't nobody see 5, 6, 7% interest rates coming? Nobody saw it. Nobody said it. Nobody. I was like, oh. So 22 was fine. 5% rates. Okay, cool. We starting to see like, okay, the Fed was like, we gotta slow this thing down. This is ridiculous. We gotta jack these rates up. We gotta put the people back where they belong. We gotta slow this thing down. And so in order to do that, you have to raise the rates. That's just basic economics. It don't matter who the president was gonna be. That's what had to happen. They kept the rates too low too long, even prior to this, but that's another story for another day. I told y'all I got notes. I can't leave out nothing. But we had an election and people were broke. I've been talking about being broke for a long time. Like, check my YouTube channel. Please, seriously. Go check my YouTube channel. Watch all the videos. But it was literally between 2022 and 2023. It's like somebody pulled a plug. Who cut out the lights? What happened? Can't none of y'all qualify? Like what? Oh, you could qualify. Okay, cool. 23 people could qualify. Rates were, 5.5, right? But what they did was they went to the credit union, 100% financing. No mortgage insurance. 5-year ARM. Well, they got a lower rate. Home prices are still going up. They're having to find innovative solutions. Enters the temporary 2-1 buy down. Y'all, please keep up with me on this. I promise I'm going somewhere. When we get into what's going to happen with the housing market, follow me. Temporary buy downs, 2-1 buy down, 3-2-1 buy down. What is a temporary buy? How they offering a 3.99 rate? That's not even possible. New construction. Everybody, new construction. They was cutting all the deals. They was cutting the checks. They was making it affordable. New construction was being made affordable by the builder's lender. Okay. Yeah, I really wanted my payment to be $1,250, but I'll squeeze it out. All you got to do is, said the realtor. All you got to do is, said the loan officer. Don't worry about it. You do the 2-1 buy down. Just refinance it and you can keep this 4.99. When the rates come down, you can just refinance it into a permanent rate. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You'll never see that 6.99. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Why would you tell people that? Awesome. Okay, cool. Great. So anyway, we get to the election. People got houses, but now they're starting to see insurance go way up. They're starting to see taxes go way up. And we ain't factored that in. We were sending them pre-approvals. It never crossed my mind. It never dawned on me that people would have massive increases in their property taxes. Never dawned on me. But again, because of the slow response to COVID, which sat everybody down, and they had to pump all this money into the economy and give everybody money and give everybody freebies and opportunities to go spend money because they didn't want it to go into like a depression. Because we can't come to a full screeching stop. That wasn't going to work. So now here we are in 2023, 2024. Insurance double. Insurance for cars going up. Insurance for houses gone up. Taxes way up. Food way up. Daycare way up. Oh, gas. Oh, car payment way up. Everything. People did not expect for it to avalanche the way that it did. And so now we got a choice. We got Trump, who I remember him. My life was good. It was warm and fuzzy. Oh yeah, man. When the rates coming back, they gonna come back down to 3%. When the rate, I'ma wait till the rates come down. That's what everybody been saying the last couple years. Oh, they too high. I'ma wait. Okay. You got Joe Biden. They like, he did it. But then we had to switcheroo in the whole situation. It was like, Kamala Harris, she did it. What's she been doing for the last 4 years? What you mean what she been doing for the last 4 years? What your assistant manager be doing down to your job? You don't even talk to your assistant manager at your job. You be talking to the manager. But we acknowledge that it was an issue. Everybody knew it. But now I will say this is to be fair, criticism, right? I said I'll try to be fair. I was disgusted because I felt like Joe Biden was a day late and a dollar short when he started talking back in February, March, April. I can't remember when. February, March, April, about putting forth a housing plan for the crisis that we was having. And I was like, where the fuck you been at? I've been here. Where you been? How is it important now? It was supposed to be important 2 years ago. We have been had the makings of a housing crisis. But it went from being a smolder to a full 5-alarm fire. We didn't have enough houses. Too many people could buy houses. The prices got elevated. What we doing? This started in 2020. Well, actually before then. This issue started in 2015, 2016, when people started making multiple offers on houses. Bruh, dog. Sir, it is 2024. Why are you just not jumping on this? But me in my life, I was mad at Jerome Powell the whole time. I was very upset with him. I'll be sending messages to some of the like thought leaders in the industry and be like, yo, what they be talking about? Like, somebody like tell him I said I'm gonna take him off the prayer list if he don't get it together. But I really couldn't complain too much because I understood why things was happening the way it's happening. So here we go again. Trump being a masterful salesperson, because he is. He's an amazing salesperson, and I'm never going to take that away from him. He's amazing at what he does. He and Kamala Harris had a plan, but I want to focus on him because he's that guy right now. Okay, so this article came out. How will Trump's win affect the real estate industry? This is what he said he was going to do. Okay, everybody wanted to feel warm and fuzzy. He's a real estate guy. He know what's going on. Mind you, to be completely clear, to be totally clear, I remember let me put me back up here because I want to make sure that y'all fully hear and understand what I'm telling y'all. To be totally honest, when Donald Trump was elected in 2016, I was excited. I was like, he in real estate, I'm in real estate. Oh, shoot, let the good times roll. Oh, baby, when I tell y'all he didn't say nothing about nothing that had nothing to do with us. But back to the article. Here we go. Trump 2.0. How will the win affect the real estate industry? This article was published yesterday. It says currently the nation is short of 7 million affordable homes as many hopeful first-time buyers remain priced out of the market. So I guess they're feeling like, okay, well, he's going to bring back the market. Like, clearly things are going to get more affordable if he's in charge, because I remember when he was there before, it was affordable. Rates were low. Things was great. So he said, all right, cool. This is what I'm thinking we're going to do. Okay. So according to a speech that he gave the Economic Club of New York in September, he suggested that using federal land for housing development would help meet demand. Regulation costs 30% of new homes, and we will open up portions of federal land for large-scale housing construction. These zones will be ultra low tax and ultra low regulations. One of the great small business job creation programs. Okay. Are y'all gonna benefit from that? Do y'all hear anything in that's gonna translate to you as a home buyer or a consumer? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's gonna benefit you. Put a 2 in the chat if you like, I don't know, I don't think so. Let me know. How is this gonna impact you? This sounds great for somebody, but it's a plan or concepts, right? So basically what this is saying is he may or may not, who's to say? Because again, he's a great salesperson, a masterful salesperson. And I'm not saying that I'm not being facetious when I say that at all. Like, I have, honest to God, I have been in awe and in admiration. I'm like, I got to learn how to do that. Because I mean, I'm in a sales role. He's amazing at it. But he says, okay, regulation costs 30% of new homes. So somebody would take that to mean, oh, then that must mean if he rolls it back, then that means the cost of housing will go down 30%, right? Do y'all think that would trickle down to you? Or would that mean that these companies would be able to increase their profit margins? I don't know. I'm just saying, look, I don't make the news. I just report it. I got a master's degree in teaching language arts. I'm just reading the language. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so it says additionally, Trump expresses desire to lower the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15% for companies that produce in America. A low corporate tax rate could stimulate, could, maybe, hopefully, there's a margin of error that's there, could stimulate housing activity, boost investment, and potentially lead to increased housing market activity. Among the potential ripple effects, it could be a rise in construction, more supply, and lower home prices. Could be, maybe, who's to say? Trump also mentioned that he'd be addressing the supply chain problems and curbing regulations on home builders, although details of those plans were not given. Concepts. But it was good before, so it must be good now, right? Life was great. He said, hopefully interest rates goes down. I don't see too many price cuts. I don't see it either. I don't see it either. Look at this. Next up, because not only were people concerned about the economy, they were concerned about immigrants. And they're like, they gotta go. Get them out of here. So he said, we're doing some mass deportation. We starting on day one. Get them up out of here. They got to go. Not now, but right now. Okay. That's cute. But according to this, there's roughly 1 to 2 million undocumented construction workers, making up between 10 and 19% of the total construction workforce. In full effect, mass deportation could strip about 1.5 million workers from the construction workforce. This includes plasterers, stucco masons, drywall installers, ceiling fan tillers, and roofers, more than 1/3 of whom were undocumented in 2022. Damn that Joe Biden. Look what he did. He must have done this. He had to have done this. This was him, right? Oh. He opened them borders and people started working. Oh my God. Y'all. What we gonna do? All right. So moving on. Project 2025. Now I ain't gonna get into this. I just want to highlight one thing here right quick. Every program, every department, everything that you do throughout your day comes from Washington, D.C. in some way, shape, or form. From the air that you breathe, to the technology that you have in your car, to the food that you eat, the water you drink, the house you live in, meaning what's considered safe or unsafe. All of these things, all of these decisions are made allegedly by experts, or they have been made by experts. But one of the things that, if y'all remember from the previous administration, was he was like, no, you don't gotta be an expert to know how to do this. And so the last time he had Ben Carson as the Department of Housing and Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is known as HUD. He was running the thing. Now, I don't know if you all understand what that could mean for you. So I do want to quickly highlight that. Your down payment assistance. Okay? Because let's remember, we had checks and balances and all of the things. So, things were probably going to stay mostly status quo. But he got the presidency, the executive branch, he got it looks like the Senate and probably the House. And then if anybody got a beef and they want to escalate it to upper management, he got that too. Who you finna sue? What's your recourse? Who you gonna sue? What's gonna happen to fair housing laws? I don't know. I'm speculating. I have no idea. I'm not saying that something will or won't. I want to throw it out there, because when you have people in positions that don't know nothing about nothing, don't know what they're doing, he a brain surgeon or a heart surgeon or something. When you have just random people making decisions and they like, this is annoying, just get rid of it. Huh? What you mean? Or when they start making budget decisions and they're like, oh, we don't need that down payment program. Hey, we really don't need that many people in the housing market anyway. So just get rid of that program too. We're not going to fund that. Right? These are things. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. Loan modifications. Back before the Great Recession, before the housing market crash, everybody kind of did their own thing. Now it's a lot more uniform in the way that things happen in housing. So, you know, if you get in service by ABC, like if you make your payment to ABC servicer versus XYZ servicer, it's the same across the board. Everybody can do the same thing, offer the same thing. Before it was kind of hit or miss. Why do I know that? Because I had a foreclosure in 2011. What they offered here, they didn't offer it. Like it was a thing. Okay. So again, just something to think about, because I've read that they're thinking that Fannie and Freddie are going to come out of conservatorship. So some things are going to potentially, you know, move around. So everybody's talking about the interest rates, right? Y'all know we had an interest rate cut a couple of weeks ago, a month, at the end of September. And we had one today. We had a rate cut. It was the end of September. It was a 50 basis point, so half a point rate cut. And then they had another 25 basis point rate cut today. So a total of 0.75 rate cut. Okay, and that's for short-term borrowing. The impact on long-term, it's not like a point for point. Your rate could potentially be higher. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? Y'all know how I said that people like to feel warm and fuzzy. They associate things with people. Trump was elected. No, let me go back. The rate cut happened a month ago. Joe Biden was president, but the interest rates went up. What happened? Wait. They lied. I gotta get him out of there. He gotta go. We gotta bring Trump back. Y'all, he was elected Tuesday. The Fed met yesterday and today. The Fed cut rates a quarter point today. What are people going to associate that with? Because guess what happened? The rates ticked down a little bit. We've been on an upward trajectory, for the last, 45 days or so. Like, wait, what's happening here? So never mind the fact that was what was going to happen anyway. That was always going to happen. That's the plan. That has been the plan from the Fed. He said he got two jobs. Job number one, he said he got to make sure that the job market is stable. And job number two, he got to make sure this inflation don't get out of control. They near the 2% that they've been looking for. Hooray. You know what's going to happen? Donald Trump going to get in office and he's going to be like, oh, inflation's fixed. It's 2%. Okay. Got it. But people going to be geeked and excited. And there are some projections that instead of the interest rates coming down under his administration, there are some projections that interest rates are going to increase because of tariffs and some of his economic policies. So according to this article, and it's the last article I got, and then I want to drop the link because I'm curious to know what y'all think and how y'all are feeling about this. So the AP, Associated Press, this was before the election. This is what they said. And I remember hearing Kamala Harris say, oh, all these economists, they said that my plan is better. But the people didn't believe them because they remembered how good it felt when the good times was rolling. So according to this, and then he knows it. He's like, in a message tailored for Americans who are still exasperated. You know, that's an extreme word. Exasperated by the jump in consumer prices that began 3.5 years ago. Exasperated. I can't take it no more. Can't do it. The mainstream economists said that Trump's policy proposals wouldn't vanquish inflation. They'd make it worse. Okay, let's see. They warned his plans to impose huge tariffs on imported goods, deport millions of migrant workers, and demand a voice in the Federal Reserve's interest rate policies would likely send prices surging. 16 Nobel Prize winning economists signed a letter in June expressing fear that Trump's proposals would reignite inflation, which has plummeted since peaking at 9.1% in 2022. So let's unpack that real quick, just so we're completely clear about how interest and inflation works. The Federal Reserve is a board of governors, is several up, I can't remember, I think maybe 11. I can't remember how many it is. They've studied the economy. They have gone to the finest of schools. They're historians. They have studied, well, what happened the last time this situation happened. They look back and they say, okay, oh, that didn't work out, so maybe I should try it a little differently. And they make educated decisions. I mean, it don't always go right, because I will argue that this one didn't go good. Like, y'all waited too late to start raising interest rates, and now look at us. We stuck. I remember in like 2018, 2019, Trump, who was president then, was like, Jerome, F around and find out. Don't you touch them rates. What you doing all the way over there? That ain't your address. Your address over there. Get back over there. He want to have his hands in everything, even though he don't know what he's doing. That could be a bad sign if they can't function independently like they're supposed to and make what they feel is the best decisions, right? That matters, y'all. Because guess what? If Trump is like, drop them rates to zero, it's going to cause mayhem. That's not smart. But he don't care. He's not a historian. He doesn't care about any of those things. I heard somebody say something basically like successful people move fast and like procrastinators, they don't be successful because they move too slow. He's successful. Clearly, he don't think before he does anything. Right? So here we are. So we got winners and we got losers. The winners are said to be business owners. The winners of this are said to be real estate investors. The winners are people with money. People with money. Okay? So if those are the winners, and we know how opposites work. If at the very beginning of this, we said that 38% of people were like, oh, I'm worried because I can't buy a house. Like these housing prices, they too high. I can't afford it. Well, if you can't afford something, I guess that makes you a person without money, right? If you can't afford a $4,000 a month payment, right? If you can't afford for your groceries to go up 30 or 40%, that would put you in the category of the have-nots, right? Renters, because he just said that he's going to incentivize these builders to build. Now, let's be really clear. That don't necessarily mean single family homes. A builder, that could be an apartment community. That's a dwelling. Wage earners are losers because what they're forecasting is that the tax code that they had before, which benefited business owners, which benefited people that already had money to be able to put into the stock market to help the money grow at an exponential rate. They I don't know. I'm a wage earner. I mean, I don't know. Am I? Sort of. I'm a wage earner on my real job. I mean, this is a thing. I need to make it a real thing, but it's a thing. So I was on a live stream with a lady. Her name is the Money on Instagram. Um, she has a 20-year career, I think, working for like the IRS, and she talks about the tax code. And she said with a very straight face and a very stern tone, "You better get you a business." That's what she said. She said it just like she was like, "You better get you a business and figure out how to live inside the tax code." I was like, "Oh, live inside the tax code. Okay. What that mean?" You better get you a business. Because I mean, I have watched multiple um opinions of people that I respect. Um and they basically saying that the rich gonna get richer. Case in point, last night I heard yesterday I heard three things. I heard Elon Musk made $20 billion overnight. His net worth went up $20 billion when the election happened. I ain't I ain't got no money, so my money couldn't go up. And even if I did have money, it would only be, some tens of thousands. So my return on that certainly ain't gonna be 20 billion. I heard a content creator, he got about 400,000 subscribers. So it is very fair. I can say he makes probably $1 million a year on YouTube. I'm confident he makes $1 million or more on YouTube. He said that he made $100,000. I think he said more than that actually overnight. And then I heard this other guy say, he was like, "Oh yeah, just today I made a middle class income today in a day." So the people that got it, they gonna keep getting it because the economy is like, yes, he's back, because it's gonna be good for businesses. So my advice is, y'all, I don't think the rates are gonna fall as fast as we were hoping that they would fall. We kept saying, "Oh, no, 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 we'll be on this downward trajectory. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be, don't worry, it's gonna." But I don't think so now, because the market is gonna move in a different way. They're gonna move with the energy of get rich or die trying. Like, you know what I'm saying? The people that get it. And the people that don't won't. And that's regular people. I'm not talking about, people that make 400,000, 500,000. I'm talking about regular schmegular people. Layoffs are going to happen. Layoffs are going to come. They're talking about the impact of tariffs and all of these things they're talking about. Like, oh shoot, is it going to be a recession? Sound like that's what they're setting it up for. Job loss comes with recessions. That's why the Fed said what he said today. He was like, yo, I got 2 jobs. I got to keep this job market stable. People have to lose jobs, but it's like they thinking it might be a fallout. So because I'm in this situation too, we on the clock. We on the clock. So what are we gonna do? You gotta save your money. What money, Joy? I just told you I was broke. Oh yeah, me too. Credit card debt. Lots of credit card debt. If you own a house, you need to consolidate that debt. You need to get rid of that debt. If you have money stocked away somewhere, you need to get rid of that debt. If I just told you that the interest rates are poised to go up, these are not my words. You saw the words yourself. What that mean? Your credit cards ain't gonna keep going up. And you're gonna still have less and less money and inflation. They said they're expecting it to go up. What are we gonna do? Now, obviously, this is all hypothesis, but I believe them. I'm a little older, and I'm not as optimistic as I used to be. Just about life, life experiences. You start getting a little jaded and stuff. But what we gonna do? We gotta save. We gotta get in a savings mode. Not all that extra spending. Not all this, catch flights, not feelings. I can't be at the Louis Vuitton. I can't nothing. Well, I can't because I'm broke. But you know what I'm saying? If I had money, it's recommended to not spend it. And I know financial advisors, they don't be spending no money. They're not out here living their best life and flying all over the place. They're not doing it. I ain't gonna say regular people, but people that are more emotional and less pragmatic about money, they like, I'm gonna take this trip. Oh, I'm going. I get it. I do. I get it. But then, so you gotta save your money, put the money away, get your money in a 401k. So it can grow with the market. If that's what they're expecting to happen. It's gonna grow. That's how a lot of people got money last time, because they bought real estate and the market exploded. And also be mindful that I live in a primary residence. I don't own any other homes. I don't have any investment properties. But that's where the money resides, with the taxes, with the tax code, depreciation, all of that, all of the good stuff that they so excited about. Because what they're saying is, consequently, your taxes gonna go up if you're not one of those business owners or one of those people that have enough deductions to offset whatever the increase is. Which is, remember, he made it, I don't, what is the deduction, like 12 or 22,000 or whatever it is. You got to have a business to have a lot of line items and expenses, right? To be able to deduct. So when you hear people be like, oh, I'm a business owner, I voted Trump. Okay, I got it. I get it. I don't. I sort of get it. I'll accept it. It's fine. But they like, get you a business. Get you a business. I ain't say go open a bakery, You can say a little Mary Kay, a little yang, 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 whatever. Get your YouTube channel. And then, like I said, invest your money. But the problem is, it's you gotta have, this only benefits people that got money, because you can, if you have no money, you can't do none of these things. You can't do any of those things. And just to put a pin in it, and y'all, oh, I don't know. I want y'all please come up. I don't know how to do a link. Y'all, let me tell y'all how I swear I've not done this in so long. Copy. Paste. I just put the link in the chat. Can I? Okay, yeah, I just put the link in the chat. So please come up. I want to hear, like, how are you feeling? Are you still as excited as you were? Were you fearful before? Are you more fearful now? Did you know all of this information? Because the optimism that people have, that's like, oh, well, I had money before. I don't think people recognize or fully understand your rent is never going to be $900 again. That's not how it works. Ever again. You're not getting a $1,200 mortgage. That $11.99 bacon gonna still be $11.99. Just because he's going to be the president does not wash away all these years of cumulative inflation. It don't work like that. We're not going back. We're not going back. It's not going back. Thank you, Mello. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much for that super chat. That is so kind of you. Let's see, border protection. What is the MSPA law? Oh, y'all thought them folks was tobacco fields in 2024 because they was hard workers? No. It's the easy to cross the border. Yo, let me tell you, I didn't know that people that got, I didn't realize, I just learned this. I mean, because I'm not of that community. I had no idea that it's almost like the light skin versus dark skin kind of, they like, oh, you can't sit with us. We went through the thing. We crossed the burning sands. You can't go on back over there. But I don't know what's MSPA. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But no, shout out to you. I appreciate this. Thank you so much. I gotta start having stream sponsors again. I'm gonna be back over here more often, for real, this time. But no, thank you so much. I appreciate that. 90% of 90% of farmers are illegal, and that's how mass deportation is gonna work. Right. How's it gonna work? These be, they were talking about now this on tick, these ain't my words. I just pointed out the obvious. When they were, they was like, oh, it's a black job. Yeah, we can have those jobs. No, you can't. You don't want them. You don't. You don't. You can't want that. You can't want the job of working 12-hour shifts, sun up to sun down, for the pay that they get. and want to shop at Gucci. Those two things don't go together. And I will say this too, again, because I want to be so fair. Y'all, the Black homeownership rate is below Hispanics. So there is certainly something to be said for staying down till you come up. But they don't want it. I don't know. I want to know. I don't know how this gonna work. The Supreme, let me shut up. I was about to say Supreme Court might have us out there. He was a lawyer, then an investment banker, and the head of the Fed. Yeah, I mean, I think he done okay. He studied this market. Look, let me tell y'all. You gotta have some sort of background. You gotta have some background. You gotta know what's going on. You can't just I can't get up there. I ain't your girl. Baby, I would have this place. It would be a shit show. I keep trying to tell them that. Oh, you keep trying to tell the people that the $1,200 gone forever. What is this Gucci you speak? The Louis Vuitton. All of the things. All of the things. I got somebody back here becoming one. I don't know. Hold on. I can't see it right now, but I'm coming right now. Hang, give me 1 second. Skylar Nicole. People that voted for him, not having an understanding of what's going to happen to them. They better not ask me to go fund for any GoFundMe money, and no complaints about gas and grocery prices. They don't know. They don't know. Honestly, if I was not in this space, if this wasn't a part of my day-to-day life, I wouldn't know. I've learned a lot of this. This is like on the job training for me. My master's degree, my bachelor's degree is in journalism. It's in electronic media. See, look at me using my degree. To God be the glory. Side note, they're talking about they might, get rid of the Department of Education. Y'all, if they break up the Department of Education and we lose all them protections with student loans, what am I gonna do? I'm 20 years in the game. I gotta kick the can down the road about 5 more years and it'll be done. It'll be over. But that's another story for another day. And then I got my master's degree in education, teaching 7th and 8th grade language arts, 6th through 9th grade language arts. A lot of what I've learned is based on my proximity to people that have money. You know what I mean? Just office conversations, even down to the house that I live in right now. The reason why I bought my house was so that I could have the equity to pay for my son to go to college, because I had seen my colleagues in upper management do it. I was like, what? They know something I don't know. And I'm coachable. I'm always willing to listen. I'm always willing to take some advice. I don't bet 1,000. I make mistakes all the time. I told y'all my life is in shambles right now. But guess what? It won't be. I am taking this opportunity 100%. I'm going for it. I went on Chat GPT. Y'all know how the girlies, I don't know if y'all know, the girlies be asking Chat GPT to give them the life of their dreams or whatever, design a day and life of my. I was like, how do I get a net worth of $1 million in 5 years? And real estate, being a business owner, and of course still doing this. What are we doing? I want an investment property. I've always said I want to get investment property in my 40s. Oh God, that came fast. But yeah, it take money to make money. So I'm about to bring you up. I'm gonna add you here. Okay. All right. Can you unmute? Oh, I gotta unmute you. Is it me? There you go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Becoming one with me, Renee. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming to chat with us. So, how are you feeling? Can I ask first of all? Can I ask who you voted for?
Well, I did vote for Trump.
Okay, that's fine. No, like I said, it's a
For
safe space.
these-
I ain't, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I respect. I one of the like things I say I always like about myself is that I have the ability of seeing things from multiple perspectives without being too in my feelings. You know what I mean? Like I can disagree, but that just because I feel a different way don't necessarily make somebody else wrong. You know what I mean? We all have different life experiences. So no, it's okay. So why did you vote for Trump?
So, two reasons why I voted for Trump. Some of the things that he was going for were the things that aligned with my interest, as far as border control and getting the economy right. Two of the things that you said that a lot of people um, interest were to vote for him. A lot of the other things
Mm-hmm.
that Miss well I would say Vice President Harris,
Mm-hmm.
um, her agenda was, it didn't really align with my my interests. So that's why I ended up not voting for her. And then two, she came at the very, very end. So I really didn't, know what her I kind of knew, but I hadn't seen her. One of the things that I think that turned a lot of people off for voting for her was that she didn't really make herself known in the 3 years before that while she was vice president, she was really
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, or
Mm-hmm.
she really didn't have a outgoing appearance as in the public.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why I didn't vote for her.
So you said that you said the border. Where you live at? What state you in?
I'm in North Carolina. I'm originally from Winston Salem, and I live in Kannapolis.
Okay, Trey Fall. All right.
Yeah, three,
Okay.
three, three, three.
Okay, Trey Fall. I went to A&T. Okay,
Hey,
so
yes.
Aggie Pride. Um, what you mean you worried? What you worried about the border for? We don't have no border.
Well, this is the thing. I would say this. A lot of the when a lot of the immigrants or the migrants came over, they were getting a lot of um, benefits, and a lot of people are upset because they're getting a lot of benefits when other people that live here can't even get those benefits. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of monies that we're giving them, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pay for that. That's coming, the money that they just can't throw the money out and not um and it just come from thin air. Somebody's gonna have to pay that money back.
Yeah,
And
I seen something today. Eric Adams. God, I saw it on Instagram. Was it on the Shade Room? Eric Adams, who is the mayor of New York, he like I saw it like maybe an hour, 2 hours ago. Apparently they had I don't know, food vouchers or something for migrants. They piloted a program, and they've taken that away. They announced that they would be concluding that program. So
after so much time, I mean,
yeah, right. I mean, everybody gonna fall in line because they want to get elected, right? That's
yeah,
just they're like, oh, and he's in New York, and the Bronx apparently were big Trump
he's
supporters. And
right now, so he has to really fly straight and get the people really on his side. So
yes, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yep,
he was the
absolutely.
person that announced could some of the migrants live with the people. So They don't. New Yorkers don't like each other sometimes.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, you're right. So okay, so you feel like some of the resources are that are being distributed could be distributed more evenly amongst the citizens if they weren't supporting people that weren't supposed to be here.
Yes, yes. I feel like a lot of the resources that they were given were taken away from different citizens. Um, I know one report that I saw in Chicago. Um, it was a community center or something like that, and they shut the community center down for the migrants to stay there. And it was a place where a lot of the senior citizens and stuff, people in the neighborhood were coming, and um, they were getting resources there. But then they shut it down from the people that pay taxes in that neighborhood to give it to people that are coming over here. And my thing is, America, I feel like America is a melting pot for everybody. Everybody should have a chance to come over here. But everybody that says they're seeking asylum is not seeking asylum. A lot of people that are coming over here, they are taking advantage. And I feel like, from my point of view, if I was given something that was free and it was out there, I'm going to take advantage of it too. So I feel like it is the government's fault for leaving all of those resources open and giving those resources away and not taking care of your citizens. When if you go to their country, you won't get those types of resources. You will not be able to come over there without having some type of documentation.
Mhm.
It's a crime. I feel like, I feel like it's a crime and it shouldn't be incentivized at all, especially at the expense of the taxpayers. We're already going through um, difficult times, and with that, we're having to pay for things that we shouldn't have to pay for. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, no, again, it's listen. I'm open minded, and like I said, it's a safe space. I want everybody to feel like I am of the belief nobody is wrong. That's how I'm like we just see things differently. So no, totally get it. So is it can we say that in our life experience, can we say that there are opportunities and resources and things that are available to Americans that are of a lower socioeconomic background that have been provided, certain boosts, um, and they did not take advantage of those opportunities.
I will say that. I will say that because I have been a homeowner twice.
Mm-hmm.
And in the two times that I was a homeowner, and I took advantage of the situation because in between the times I was a homeowner, it had been 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, every time that I became a homeowner, I was considered a first time buyer, and
Mm-hmm.
I would go to first time buyer classes and um, to get down payment assistance, which I just wanted the extra money because I had money, but why
Mm-hmm.
not use other people's money?
Okay.
Even though I found, later on you find out different things. It's a double edged sword in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the people that were in my homeowners class was not in my socioeconomic background.
Okay.
I, a
Yep.
lot of people were college students that you can clearly see that their parents were helping them,
Mm-hmm.
but they were getting this, if the paper says you qualify for it, then they're gonna come. I
Mm-hmm.
I first became a homeowner. There I didn't know really a lot about home ownership, but they were handing out flyers and they were like, "We need people to come to this. If you want to become a first time home buyer, come to this class." nobody that I knew would go to the class.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the class,
Yeah.
and and I would say that maybe I'm going to say it like this. I was the only Black person in that class.
Yeah. I believe you. What year was that?
This was the first time I became a homeowner. It was 2000. Actually, it was 2009. I want to say
Mhm.
2009, because the reason why I bought my home during that time, because that's when Obama had switched the down payment
It was
tax
like
credit
$8,000. Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
$8,000 instead of paying back the 7,500.
Yep.
And I got in right after that. And I remember I had just filed my taxes, and I did an amended return so
Mm-hmm.
I could
Yep.
get tax credit.
And you had good credit.
I'm sorry.
You had good credit.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
you did. Because
Now, this is the issue that I have with the housing market now.
mhm,
So I bought a house in 2009,
mhm.
and then I had got a divorce. So I sold that house, and then I bought another house in 2017, 2017. And then I ended up relocating. So I sold my house in November of 2019,
Oh,
right
yeah, before
before.
the pandemic came.
Yeah, let me tell you, when I say I check the numbers and I'm so sick,
I know. Yeah.
I will never find a house payment like that.
Mm-mm.
When I sold my house payment was $683, and that was with PITI, everything. It was a brand new house. I had
Child.
when I bought it, it was a brand new house.
Mhm.
I paid $125,000 for it. Now, mind you, I did still, when I sold it, I ended up getting I sold it for a whole lot. Well, not a whole lot more. It was a significant amount more, because the neighborhood that I stayed in, they had stopped building, and a lot of Indian people stayed in my neighborhood, and they like to stay together. So when I was relocating, one of my neighbors said, "Oh, I got somebody that would want to, move next to me. They want to come here and they want to buy a house." So they bought my house for 150. So after everything, I still got like a $5,000 um return on it, and that was good, because I had only had the house for about 2 years. Most of the time, after you pay everything, you're lucky to break even. So that was good. But now I'm in the predicament where the economy, I relocated to Kannapolis, and my rent started off as 1,400.
In
Now
Connect.
I'm paying 1,700, and I'm a single parent. So it is it's it's hard to try to find to save money to buy right now,
Mhm.
because of all the expenses, like as far as food and stuff like that, and the simple fact that you're not going to find $150,000 house. If you do find one, it's gonna be very hard to find,
Mhm.
or you're gonna have to do some renovations on it. It's not gonna be a brand new house like the house that I had.
Yeah,
So
I know.
yeah. So the
I
cheapest house,
know.
and when I first came here, I looked in Charlotte, and I can't even think about living in Charlotte with the prices, especially if I want a nice neighborhood. I really don't want an up and coming neighborhood, so I have to stay on the outskirts. And even the outskirts, everybody is hip to that. So The cheapest houses that I find are not even in my price range. My price range is about 250, 275.
Yeah.
If you find houses like that, it's an older house,
Mhm.
or there's already multiple bids on it, or you look at it and then it's while you're looking at it, somebody's already got it.
So how long have you been wanting to re-enter the housing market? Or was this triggered because of the increase in rent?
It's triggered because of the increase in rent.
Okay.
And I'm tired of renting again because you can't do anything, and then your rent is always going to go up. And you never hear, oh, they lowered my rent. No, your rent is always going to go up. And I'm getting to the point where now I feel like a lot of people are not talking about it. You're getting priced out of rent,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't really afford to move, because I looked at other houses that are in my neighborhood, and when I first moved here, they were wanting people to, they were wanting people to move in, so the rent was a little bit cheaper. Now, every year you renew your lease, the rent is going to go up, and after a while, the rent is going to become unaffordable.
Okay.
So get to that point where, like, okay, so what do I do now?
Okay. So with your ballot that you've cast for Donald Trump for president, what were you anticipating? What is the outcome that you are hoping for, in light of the rising cost of food, child care, home prices, rent? What are you wanting to happen that will make you feel like, yeah, that's right?
So I wanted more jobs to become available, that that are that you can go to and you're not getting underpaid. So I feel like if he does tariffs, and I know it's not going to happen overnight, really. Either person that got elected, nothing is going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like, okay, if Kamala was voted president and she got in, and it's not going to be like, oh, we're just in this new thing that everything is going to be okay. No, everything takes time to happen. So
Oh,
I know it's going to be at least 2 years, um or more, before you see really any real results from either candidate, either way, because it takes, if
takes
he
time, yeah. And what happened 2 or 3 years ago, it it doesn't show up for a little while. So,
that
which is
is
why I was saying, I think that there's going to be this perception that Trump is going to come in and be like, inflation's fixed, it's 2%, but
no,
that doesn't help you. How does inflation being 2% erase the 20% that you've had that's accumulated over time? Because we're like, oh, it's the economy, right? And just based on my life, I am broke. Like, let's be so clear.
we
I
we
have, I have, like, I say that because, like, I'm sort of playing devil's advocate, but I also want you to understand, like, I get it, right? But when people are like, oh, well, it's the kind. Were you here at the beginning when I kind of explained, like, he's the reason why this is happening?
I don't think that he is the only reason why it
Oh,
happened.
he's
I
totally the only reason why.
I disagree.
Who else? Who
I think that
who's at the beginning? You know how you be driving? Like, I don't know about the rest of y'all. Y'all be in traffic, right? Be like on 85, 77, where, and then it's like, why is traffic not moving? Why is it slow? What's going on? I be wanting to know, like, who's at the beginning? Who started this? Who got in the accident at 6:49 in the morning? Like, why? Right? who the beginning, like who was the beginning? Like he was the beginning of this. He started this, right?
I like, okay, so I'll disagree. I
Okay.
feel like he's the person everybody loves to put everything off on. Now he was the president in the beginning in 2020, but in 2021 we got a new president.
Mm-hmm.
So you going to say in the year span when COVID was happening, he caused all of this destruction in that year
Yes.
and
Yes.
couldn't
Yes.
be any kind of
Yes.
correction
Mm-hmm.
in the past 3 years that that Biden was in.
Yes.
That's what you're gonna
I'm
say.
saying yes, because it didn't have to happen at all. Period. As the leader of the organization, as the commander in chief, as the CEO, as the Roger Goodell, as when all them boys be out there getting their heads knocked off, they be looking at Roger Goodell like, bruh, you don't see all this going on out here? What you gonna do? Why did you let this happen? Why didn't you implement studies? Why didn't you give them better health insurance? It's the person at the top. It's the person at the top that like, okay, you let it run them up, right? It didn't have to happen. The I I don't. It's not even a feeling. I know for a fact. Had the leadership taken it more seriously and not downplayed it and joked about it and told people to put Clorox in their veins, right? Or to drink it. No, it wouldn't have been, it would, like, I remember Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, was the one that was like, shut this shit down. No, we ain't doing this. Not with my player. I got $1 billion situation over here. I can't have this. No. I got one player tested positive. Shut it down. Y'all go home. Thanks for coming out. God bless and good night. Immediately. It was no questions asked. Thank y'all for we'll give you a refund. We figure this out on the back end. The safety of the players was the concern. He had to also, I mean, quiet as he had a protected asset, right? Because they are very valuable, right? But he shut it down. It was only after Adam Silver got all the shine. Why'd you shut it down? What are we gonna do? We've never seen this happen. What about the playoffs? How's that gonna work for the finals? Is LeBron James okay? Trump was like, oh hell no, you're gonna be getting all this damn attention. Yeah, what yeah. Everybody stay in the house, y'all get some masks. It was too late. It was too late. The problem had already gone too far. Had they gotten this, and I remember this like it was yesterday, and my memory is awful. I don't remember what I did earlier this morning, but I remember this like yesterday. I remember they were talking about it like in December of 2019. I don't know what y'all talking about. Like,
That's what I was gonna
oh,
say.
what's
I was
going
gonna,
on? Huh? How? Right? It was an over there problem. I didn't think
no, it's over here already.
was it over
I
here in
feel like
December? See?
I
Yeah.
feel like it was over here already because I have a
I heard
friend.
people talking about how they felt like they got it before people knew that that's what it was called.
No, yeah, I feel like that's what happened. A lot of people were getting sick and they were saying that it was communicative pneumonia. That's what a lot of doctors,
Yeah, so that's fair. That's totally fair. I've heard
and
people
I
say that
have
they feel like they had it before they officially said, "Oh, this is our first case." But nonetheless, I live in Charlotte. I don't live in Washington, D.C., and I don't have access to world leaders. I don't have access to data that's top secret. I don't have any confidential files. None of those things. I don't have access to the best and the brightest people that are at the very top of their field that I can just pick up the phone and be like, hey, tell me everything you know about ABC and XYZ. And then when I get that person on the phone that knows everything about ABC and XYZ, probably wouldn't get on the TV and be like, oh, he's stupid, he's an idiot, oh my God, he's going too far. Like, y'all just go outside, go to work, encouraging the behaviors to continue to allow the spread of it. So it wasn't an isolated, oh, I waited too late. It was this perpetual reinforcement of it's not that big of a deal. When he got COVID and damn near died, he was like, I gotta get out of here. I can't let the people see me down like this. I can't have it like that. That was a continual reinforcement. When I was working at the same company. I left and came back. One of my coworkers, he was younger than me. So I must have been 37, 38 at the time. And no, hold on. I'm 40. I was like 38, I think, at the time, something like that, 37, 38 at the time.
When you hit your
My
40s,
coworker was in his 20s and he had an underlying condition. He went to go vote. He went to Costco. He said he went to go vote. He went to Costco. And a week later, that child was in the hospital. He was down. He was down for a month. And in the hospital, like surgeries, stents in his brain, like it was a disaster, right? But what I'm saying is, again, like to your point, I'm gonna try to see both sides. That immature behavior exacerbated the situation that had it been taken seriously, had he behaved as a statesman and as a dignitary like any other normal president would have, and taken the appropriate measures and taken the meetings, it wouldn't have gotten that far. And we wouldn't have had to send people home. And Congress wouldn't have had to come together to create something that had never been created before. Jerome Powell wouldn't have had to take the extreme measures that had been unprecedented. And consequently, the gains that people are so excited about in the stock market and the gains that people reaped when they were homeowners, 20% appreciation year over year, 20% appreciation the following year over year, 20% the following year over year, making homeownership literally unattainable for the people that weren't homeowners, that wouldn't have happened. But to your point, okay, I said all that to get back. You said, well, hold on, where does Joe Biden get into this? They had to stabilize it. Like, you can't just pull the plug on everything. You know what I'm saying? It was a reentry for everybody. I think I stayed home. I think we got sent home like in March, and I think that they started talking about maybe possibly letting us come back like in December. No, that can't be right. Yeah, like December, January, because I ended up leaving the company, I think February. No, I left the company in March. I left the company March of 21. So I think they started doing reentry like January of 2021, right? So we all had been home. But guess who else was home with us? Our children, because they weren't in school, right? And so they had to consider all of these things before pulling the plug on everything. They had to like methodically say, okay, does it pass this litmus test? Does it pass this litmus test? We don't want anybody to be asked out. This wasn't anybody's fault. We got to do this thoughtfully and pragmatically. Not Donald Trump. Not talking about him. I'm talking about the CEOs. I'm talking about the Fed. I'm talking about all. So they like, okay, well, you didn't have to pay a mortgage for a year. Okay, well, let's extend it a little bit longer and let people kind of ramp up to it. Are you good? You okay? Are you employed now? Are you ready to start? I mean, if you need an extra 3 months, let me know. It was, and like I said, I'm saying it because, like I said, I have a unique perspective from just the job that I have. There were some jobs that just didn't come back. If you think about the churches, like I don't know if you go to church, but if you think about the churches, they still haven't recovered from the attendance that they had before. These mega churches that was brim packed to the brim for 4 services, they haven't recovered. So it was a thing. But all I'm saying is, yes, in terms of the interest rates being as low as they were for as long as they were, I do feel like they should have jacked them up a little bit faster. But I also at the same time understand that they had to be totally sure before putting people in a bad spot.
Okay, so I would say this. In the beginning when they took the interest rate down,
Mm-hmm.
that was a good thing because people
So that was a
needed,
good thing.
were like, people were like, okay, the sky is falling. What do I do? Is this like,
Mhm.
people treated it like Y2K again, like the it's gonna end, the world end tomorrow. They
Right.
had zombie apocalypse movies. You at home and you watching them and stuff.
Mhm.
So I mean, nobody ever. No, I feel like this. Nobody knew what to expect. They didn't know whether this was going to get worse,
Mhm.
whether it would get better.
Yeah.
I feel like,
I thought we was gonna be home for 2 weeks and we was gonna go back. Okay,
yeah,
in a month. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, this
I
is
had
really,
I
you
had
know.
homeschooled my kids all the way up until 2019. They had just started school.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle of the school year, they say, okay, we're going home for 2 weeks. And then in those 2 weeks, they said, well, we're going to be doing remote learning to the end of the year. I said,
Yeah.
okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
I didn't need to send my kids back to school. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I will say that to say this. I feel like from March, I feel like it should have been from March until I would say from March of 2020 till 2021, I feel like they should have started raising the rates back again. The reason why I say that is because
Mhm.
in August of that year, in August of 2020,
Mhm.
we went to the beach. Now, mind you, there was still
Yeah, we went to Cancun, girl. I got
so
look.
people were
It
still,
was a
this is
time.
the thing. So this is what I was saying. People were still were at home, but they were moving around. So
Yeah.
money was still being spent. It may have not have been spent
Mhm.
on things that they supposed to have spent it on, but it
Mhm.
was still money circulating.
Yeah.
Because when I went to vacations and stuff, because we still went to vacations, it was still people there. Now
Mhm.
it was the 6 feet rule and all of that stuff, but people were still moving around. And I
Yeah.
feel like the thing that made it bad was that people started taking advantage of different things. They would say, oh, well, they say, well, how much time do I got left for this unemployment?
Mhm.
Oh, I can't go back.
Mhm.
Even if they knew they could get a job.
They refused to look for jobs because
They,
they was like, "Oh, oh, this is what it's like to have $4,000 a month. I'm not gonna."
yeah,
No, you can.
the normal range for North Carolina unemployment is $300 a week. So you got an extra $600 over that $300. You're almost getting $1,000 a week.
Mhm.
Some people had never got $900 a week per week and didn't have to pay rent or anything. So I feel like they should have a lot of the incentives for home ownership and stuff, what they did to try to keep the economy boosted. I don't think they should have did it as far as they did it, because
Mhm.
it really doubled it basically it doubled the home prices.
Yeah,
It
it
doubled
was
the home
artificially
prices.
propped up. You're 100% right about. Yeah, it has been artificially propped still right now to this day.
Yeah,
There's
but
still some elements that it still ain't what it's supposed to be.
I'm sitting here acting like an old person when I'm looking at houses. I'm like, this is $150,000 house. You
Yes.
can't tell me this is not no $300,000
Mhm.
house. I'm looking at them build with the stuff that they're building with, and I'm like, I feel like the man don't lean on me. I waited all this time for this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I
So,
said, I saw it. I saw it was. I was disgusted by it personally because I would find myself in situations where people were like, "Well, Joy, you got to qualify for more. You got to qualify for more. They got to be more competitive." And I'm maxing people out just to be able to get into a house.
and that's not that's
The wrong
that's
thing.
the
Yeah.
wrong thing to do, because by
Hmm.
me being a previous homeowner,
Yeah.
the bank does not take, just like you said on previous things, the bank does not take in consideration,
Yeah.
okay, I got this daycare fee, I got this, I pay tithes here, so
Yep.
that's coming out. My kid plays little league, and
Yeah.
we travel with AAU. That's a big expense.
Hmm.
No, they just base it on your gross income. They don't even think about taking the taxes out, because it's just you're already, even if you spend, if you do 30%, if you take off 30% of the home price, you're basically breaking even to what you will be taking out in taxes. And a lot of people will be like, oh, it's not the, they say it's not the payment, I mean, it's not the amount, it's as long as I can afford the payments per month. Well, what are
Yeah.
you going to do when you have an emergency? What are you going to do if, God forbid, you get sick? And just like, it's just a lot of stuff that has to come within that. And I feel my question for you
Hmm.
is, how do you think with this, where the way things are going, it's not the, I, from my experience, it's not the interest rate, because I've seen interest rates at 7%. And when I first started looking at houses in at the end of the 90s, 7% is normal.
It's
People
normal.
think 7% isn't normal, but I remember
Millennials don't know because I'm 41. So all my adult life, interest rates have been on a decline prior to 2 years ago. Like, whoa, wait a minute, it's the wrong direction. What are we doing? So yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Historically, if you do the average of like 40 years, 7% is the average. You're correct.
yeah.
Hmm.
So it's not the interest rate that's the problem, it's the actual housing price.
Right.
So I don't know how to, that's the one thing I could say. I don't think neither candidate could have fixed the housing price, because you're not going to lower housing prices and then you have all these other people that paid a higher price when when the rates were 2%,
Hmm.
and then they lose all the equity in their house, they'll be upside down. So I don't think that part is ever going to, I mean, I think that you can get incentives, but then at the same time, those incentives are going to run out, because most of the time the incentive is a adjustable rate loan, and you know the history with adjustable rate loans, they don't end up good.
They've been doing a lot of the new builders have been doing like just permanent buy downs lately. Like they've been getting really insane. I saw a lady on TikTok. She's a realtor in Dallas, and she was opening up the perspective that an existing home with the same square footage and everything, let's say they're selling it for 350 and there's a new construction that's 350. What's happening is that new construction for 350 that's offering $20,000 in incentives.
Okay.
Those incentives are not being factored in the appraised value, right? So really, technically, in theory, you really need to be dropping that value from 350 down to 330 if it's like $20,000. Like that is her perspective. She said that an appraiser is the one that's like, some of us do it, some of us don't. Some of us consider it, some of us don't. And so it creates, it's not, it's luck of the draw. And
And
it's causing the existing homes to kind of suffer because now that house isn't as attractive as the other house is.
true. Now let me ask you this right here, with the new homes that they have, this is the aha thing. Are
Mhm.
they looking at the property tax after the 1 year? Are they doing it before is actually appraised at the actual house value, because that can put somebody out of a house where they do the property tax with just the land.
Yeah, it is. So I have been I left the consumer direct setting back in 2021 and I got into retail. So I really pretty much just did purchases, which obviously I was doing purchases because who was refinancing a house, right? But since April, I have been back in a consumer direct setting and I'm on a refinance team. And what I largely do is debt consolidation. So people are trading in their 2.5% interest rate because they got $150,000, $200,000 in equity to pay off $50,000, $60,000 in credit card debt that they have, right? So I say that to say, one, once you solved your problem, you saving $1,500 a month, you on easy street. Now it's not gonna be so hard for you to want to move, right? Oh, okay, cool. Like, bet. All right, I got a 7% rate. Oh, rates down to 6. Okay, it almost incentivizes that group of people because now it's not such a drastic jump. Okay. Those people.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
add this, if they do the right thing, because
If they do the
once
right
they
thing, yeah.
move, they cannot go back into credit card debt, and then they already have a higher rate because they rolled over that stuff,
Yeah.
and they really need to think about that. It's not free money.
And what I have been seeing is two things. So in addition to that, when we had a little rate dip, I've been doing the streamline. So if you have a government loan, like an FHA loan, or if you have a government loan, like a VA loan, if for whatever reason, let's say you bought October of 2023 was the highest interest rates that we had. So let's say you bought in October and your interest rate was a 7.99. And okay, you could do a streamline a month ago, and let's say you could get it down to a 6%. I don't know, I'm making this up. Well, guess what? I had a girl that we did that for her. I can't quite remember the numbers, but she was saving $300 a month. I do remember that. She had new construction. In October the 31st of 2023, she purchased new construction. And one of the documents that we ask for when we're doing the refinance is a copy of their current mortgage statement. I got her mortgage statement and I said, oh shit. This in August. And I was like, oh shit. She wasn't gonna say no money. When we went out, I'm like, she really gonna hate life. Because if she don't refinance, oh, and also too, to add this, a lot of people, not a lot, but some people that were qualifying for those houses that they couldn't afford, but could afford on paper, they had 2 full-time jobs. She told me that the day that she closed on her loan,
she quit one of her jobs.
She got fired.
Oh my God.
She got fired. So we get through with the FHA streamline, we don't be looking at your income. We just like, do you got income at all? Like what you do? We call verify. She lost that other job too. So now she's not saving $300 a month. Her payment is going up an additional $300 because we're at the end of the year and now she's gonna have the property taxes. Not only is she gonna have the property taxes, so y'all listen, if you don't know how this works, hey y'all, hey, I'm Joy Bailey. I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I have been a loan officer for 10 years. Hear me and hear me good. When you buy new construction, if you go with the builder's lender and you take their incentives, they're gonna get you in the house, okay? They're gonna buy that rate down, they're gonna do whatever it takes. They're gonna take the property taxes on the dirt, they're gonna get you in that house. But that 12 months that goes by, in this example, from October all the way to this year, and you only been paying, I'm making this up, $50 a month on dirt. Well, when it gets to the end of the year and the loan servicer has to pay the bill, And they go to get the bill. How much is the bill? Oh shoot, $3,600. $350,000 house. $3,600. So now what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna pay it. The lender is going to pay it no matter what.
Your escrow is going to be increased because not only do you have to pay that
Yeah.
year, you got to pay the following year in advance.
Correct. So not only did she not save that $300 because she didn't even she tried to run a scam on me, try to play with me because she gave us, y'all, that lady tried to pretend she had a friend or somebody and then the domain wasn't right. Like she was trying to get somebody to verify her income. It was a mess. So not only could she not get the lower rate to save the $300, her payment was going to be $300 higher from back taxes that the lender was going to pay for her on her behalf. Plus now her new payment going forward. So her payment was $600. So you gotta be careful about that. You do. You have to be careful about that. But to your point, you're saying you mentioned you said that you were voting for the economy because you wanted jobs to become available so that the jobs that were available weren't underpaid. What type of jobs are you talking about specifically when you say that?
So right now, well, I'm going to school now because I really just have to increase my income anyway. But I'm going to school for information technology at CPCC.
Very nice. Okay.
Yes, because but the jobs that I was looking for was more of administrative assistant jobs, and they are not paying. They barely pay enough anyway. So, but they were trying to pay like $10. I can't live off $10. I made more than that before COVID. So
I want to make sure I understand this. Are you tying their wages to that job and to that skill set to the president?
No, I'm just saying overall, I want the jobs to become better as far as with all jobs, because people are having to work 2 and 3 jobs, and you barely have with working 2 and 3. Well, right now I have a main job and then 2 side hustles.
Yeah,
But
I adored it. I'm tired. I'm side hustle right now. Y'all want to put something in the collection plate? Look, I get it. Everybody is there, and nobody should feel isolated. I talk about that all the time. It's not you. It's people that make $200,000. Same thing. I promise you. I look at it every day.
but $2,000 is a whole lot easier to manage than if you're making like 60.
It is
60,000
But
before
the thing
COVID.
is, there's a perception. There's this perception that everybody don't live paycheck to paycheck, and they do. Everybody does. I'm telling you, when you turn on your TV and your Netflix, them people that you be looking at, they live paycheck to paycheck too. The people on them sitcoms, they live paycheck to pay. That is what we do. That is the American way. It is not a given that people are just living below their means and saving all this. That is not what happens. It happens sometimes, but that's not the norm. That's not what happens. So that's why, yes, I'm telling you, like I say this all the time. Can't nobody make me jealous of them with anything that they have, because I already know what time it is. I've seen too much. I know too much. The people that a lot of people spend time envying and wishing, you don't know what kind of debt they got on their head. It's a situation that I saw. There was a realtor in Atlanta, Georgia. I follow her, very popular realtor. And she had a falling out with one of her referral partners, that's a loan officer. The loan officer and we never met in person, but we've interacted with one another. And she an OG. She been in the game. She been doing this, okay? And I thought she had it all together. Everything looked great. She would be taking trips to Martha's Vineyard. She was buying a house in Martha's Vineyard. It was a whole situation. I was like, and mind you, I'm literally telling this lady, like, oh my gosh, like, I want to be like you. Like, you, oh my God, you're so successful. Honey, when her and that friend had they falling out, that friend went on Instagram and aired her shit out.
Oh, she probably gave all the tea.
When I tell you, she talked about how this individual person, not a company, an individual person, owed another human being $200,000.
Oh my God.
Listen to me. You can't do not get caught up in what you think other people got. Don't do it. I'm telling you. That's the worst thing that you can do. But what I can say though is that, kind of tying it back to the thing about the immigrants, the people with the most money or the highest paying jobs are not white people. They're Asian people. And Asian people have been very strategic and pragmatic about the skill set that they pursue. Because at the end of the day, it's not about a job title. It's about skills that people have that can command a certain wage, right? I was telling this to my son the other day. I was like, bruh, they destroyed the Department of Education. He was like, oh, this is great. I was like, no, it's not. You gotta go to school. I don't need. I said, you don't have no skills. He said, I got skills. Oh, he mad. He was doing me for the rest of the night. I had given him the highest insult. I have skills. I said, son, it's a difference between skills and talent. Okay. When you have certain skills that you possess, you've worked on them, you have refined them, you've perfected them. And when I was teaching 10 years ago, one of the big things that they would say to us is, we got to get these kids 21st century skills, 21st century skills. I was like, the fuck is that? Like, shut up. I was so annoyed. But now I sort of get it a little bit more. It's the critical thinking. It's the evaluating. It's the analyzing. It's the, how are you going to solve old problems new ways? Those are the skills and the level of thinking that people have to command higher wages. So when people are like, oh yeah, the Indian people, they like to live together and they all work in IT. Yeah, they do. Their life is wonderful driving a Toyota Camry too, right? So when we start talking about immigrants and homeownership and government programs and allocating resources, while they take the lowest paying, hardest working manual jobs, they combine their resources. They stay down till they come up. They take advantage of everything that there is to offer the first time. And that is how they're able to lap us. Don't even know the language. And they lap us in a 7 to 10 year time span. And so it's just interesting because, like, I see it. You know what I'm saying? I see it. We have, Americans, because I don't want anybody to be like, oh, you talking about Black people. We have access, childcare resources, assistance with food, like the SNAP benefits, the income-based housing, whatever. What is it called? Pell Grants to go to college.
So I will agree with that as far as them taking advantage, because I see them, and every time when you see them, if they're doing something, they say, so what are the steps to get to where what you're offering, and they say, do this, and this, and they do this, and this, and that's the thing that they do. That's why I'm saying I'm not mad at them
Okay.
for doing this, and this. I'm
Mhm.
just saying offer it to everybody else too. It's offered.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It is. I don't think we can control who successfully takes advantage of things that I don't know who somebody in the comments. Hold on, let me see if I can find a comment. Hold on, let me see if I can find a comment. I don't know if we some people are very successful in taking advantage of the benefits that here we go. Congress and presidential administrations have offered. Because let me tell you something. I got 29 people in this live stream. I would have 100. I swear to you. If I said I'm talking about how to buy a $1 million house and live in it for $600 a month, you don't need no credit. You don't need no. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Or if you were talking about drama,
Or if I was talking
you
about. So
yes.
there's that's something you cannot hold on. Where's the daggone comment? Because I ain't the comment. You I gotta find this comment. You cannot we cannot control who tends to be more serious about life than others. That's not an administrative issue. I can't find the daggone comment. Why I can't find a comment? Somebody said something to the effect of because you were talking about how you did the down payment assistance.
Mhm.
Somebody had made the comment. They was like, sound like she took advantage of here. Is this it? Is this it? No. It was basically like sound like oh here you go. Here's the comment. You benefited and took advantage of programs that Democrats pushed, right? So all of these things, whether it's immigrants or whether it's poor white people, poor Asian people, poor whoever it is, they're there.
Let me say this right here as well for that comment. I'm
Yeah,
not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican.
yeah.
I just vote for. I'm unaffiliated. I vote for who's in my interest of me.
Mhm.
That's so it don't matter. If my thing is it shouldn't matter who who pushed it through. I don't
Mhm.
care who pushed it through. If a
Mhm.
Republican pushed it through, people will still take advantage of it. They don't care who pushed it through. They just want to know, is the thing available? I don't care who pushed it through. I just want it's the money that's offered and I want it now. That's how I feel.
But historically, I think that this comment kind of alludes to historically, one party over the other party is more lenient towards giving people a boost or providing, a little help versus another party is like, go get you some bootstraps.
But it's a double-edged sword as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have people, okay, let's say this. People have can be offered public housing and
Okay.
they can get so used to public housing where I've seen people that they are about to make too much money for public housing,
Yes.
they will quit their job so they can keep the public housing instead of going to something else. So it's not it's a mindset thing.
It is. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a boost thing as well, but some people get so complacent with it that they will never get off of it. So I'm thinking that's why some of the other party, the Republican Party, says
Yeah.
no, we're going to do that because people do get used to it.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. I'll play
Yeah.
devil's advocate on that part right there
Yeah.
with
And it's really it's unfortunate, but like I have to I try to be fair and I want to give credit where credit is due. The people do come and they like tell me the rules so I can play. They play and they win. But it's almost like, you know how like if you be like in a bad relationship, everybody can see that man don't care about you but you. it's like one of those things, right? Because we're here already, and we kind of like, man, America, get on my damn nerves, man. It's so effed up, because it ain't perfect, you know. Ew,
But
yeah.
no place is perfect. That's why
No
people
place
get
is
offended
perfect, right?
when they come back. So
Hmm. Right. But it, but for those that feel like, oh my God, they doing this, they do, oh my God, that like they take the $6 an hour's job. They like, come on, family, we gonna make some shit. We gonna figure this out. We gonna get these tax refunds. We gonna put them together. I have seen with my the eldest member. I had a situation. This is a while ago. This was like 2015, 16 maybe. It was a family wanted to get a house. They pulled their money because you can get gift funds from like family members, whatever. The eldest member of the family, what they did was every year, the eldest member of the family got everybody a tax refund to put as a down payment on a house. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I have a soft spot. Well, it's not as soft now that I know how to damn Hispanic people feel towards the damn migrants. I ain't know they ain't like them, but I mean, yeah, whatever. But I've had a little bit of a soft spot, and I'm like, well, I've seen I've I have seen the I guess I'm on the end of it, but I've seen the reward that they get for doing the things the way that the playbook say it should be played, and they get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just every scenario is different. We all have different life circumstances and things, but in terms of jobs, um I just I don't these companies like, okay, let me ask this question. When you're like, okay, you're looking at the jobs and you're like, okay, $10, I can't make it on $10. Um, what can the administration do to solve that? Or not even what can they do? What would you hope that they is it that you would be hoping that the Republican president with the Republican Senate with what looks like a Republican House would say, yes, let's raise the minimum wage to $20 or $25 an hour. Like, what is the incentive? What is
so
the
what
exchange?
I'll
Like,
say right
yeah,
here, and it wasn't just for me,
okay,
because my thing is for
overall, okay,
thing. I feel like they need to bring more jobs because it's young people that's looking for jobs and they can't find jobs that are sustainable. Now, for me, I can't wait on the government. That's why I'm going to get another skill set. So my thing is, I have 3 kids. Well, I have one in college and 2
you got
that.
an Aggie? Is it an Aggie? Your child an Aggie?
Well, she did. Let's say this: she did go to A&T to
Okay.
get a certificate. Now,
Okay.
I didn't advise her to go there, but it is a good school. It is one
Okay.
thing I will say. I'm there now. So I will say this. I've lived in Winston Salem, so I go for Winston Salem State because that's my home school. But both of the schools are great schools. They're historically black schools. A lot of it's a awesome school because a lot of celebrities send their kids there. Um, Gary Owen daughter went there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
Yep.
some other celebrity kids went there. When I look at the stats as far as their IT department, when I'm thinking about transferring after I go to finish with CPCC, they have they're awesome. They're I mean, it's a great school.
Oh yeah, we have lots of infamous and when I say infamous, I mean that word infamy. We have a lot of infamous graduates that have gone through their engineering department. If you want to, I can't say the words on the YouTube, but 9/11 was masterminded by an Aggie.
Oh Lord Jesus.
I'm just saying.
But let me say this right here. I know you're proud of that school because that school has been compared to Howard University, and it's supposed to be North Carolina. A lot of people, that's the public Howard University.
How are
So,
you paying for school right now? You have a grant? Are you taking out a loan, a scholarship?
honey, I have a grant. I
Okay.
am, and I have a grant based on Bank of America.
Awesome. Okay. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, because
So
I'm worried about like the Department of Education if they like decide they don't want to do that no more.
no,
Um, I
I
hope
think
that that's not what happens, but
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I hope
I
not.
think that's hearsay. My thing is, I don't complete. Now, let me set this straight as well. I don't completely agree with everything that the Republicans do.
Oh yeah.
Some things, yes. Some things, no. But at the end of the day, I know, even though I voted for the president, the main person, the main people that you vote for are the
Mhm.
local people.
Yeah.
Those are the people that actually get stuff passed. Those are the people that you can actually talk
Mhm.
to get your, like, property taxes.
Yeah.
Sorry, not taxes. Property taxes. I want to say it correctly. Is is the commissioner.
Mhm.
That's local. That's something that's gonna affect you more than all the other stuff. It affects you faster than anything else.
Mhm.
So
Well,
so
I mean, like I said, I totally, I understand. I respect your vantage point. I respect your position. But I just, again, I would certainly implore you to have a quantifiable measuring stick that you're using to say, I cast my ballot. This is the thing that I was hoping for. And then at the end of the next 2 years, see, well, how far did that come?
yeah.
It's just, I get it. The economy is great, but it is great for poor. It's not great for poor people. That they is good for rich people. It's good.
Well, let me say this right here.
Mhm.
My my son, he follows the thing, and this is a joke. This is just a joke at the end.
Mhm.
He said, "Mama, Kamala is not representing us." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, she's representing the middle class, and we're definitely not middle
She
class."
definitely said that. She said it over and over and
Yes,
I
middle class is 200 and above. Middle class is 150 and above. So basically, you're still not.
it ain't that high. But
It is.
yeah,
I mean, middle class.
you're right though. To your point, I do remember hearing her say that over and over and over again. And I remember thinking, well, this ain't the normal narrative. Don't they usually talk about how they were so poor? Like every time, you remember when
But
Hillary
that's
Clinton
what
was,
she did say. She said she had her
yeah,
mom was a single working mom,
middle class. She sure did. I remember, yeah.
middle
And I
class.
remember that struck me as like, wait,
But
this
she
is
did
so mature.
also say working class. So I don't know if
Mhm.
that's the politically correct term for poor people. So you know,
The middle class, they need to adjust what those numbers are at this point. But I will say this as a mortgage loan professional that looks at loan applications, and I'm saying this nationally because I don't know where anybody is that watches this now or in the future. As of November of 2024, nationally, the the home price is the median home price is $400,000 or more.
mm-hmm.
And to qualify for something like that, you need to have about 100,000 more, actually more than $100,000 on the application to be considered a serious applicant. And that is really a crying shame because most people don't earn 100. But for whatever reason, people feel like that's the brass ring. I make six figures. Like, okay, which one? Are you at 100 or are you at 999,999? It's a lot in between there to say, I make six figures.
Yes.
I would challenge the belief or the notion or the goal. 100,000 really should be the starting point right now, just based on the way that life is set up, based on the fact that these rents, these prices, life is not going back ever. The only thing that I think may shift the housing a little bit, and this is something that I just kind of noticed a little bit, if for some reason the market would, like, inflation was to continue, the markets to get worse, and people really and get laid off, and people really get into a situation, the people that own homes, their credit gonna be so jacked up, they ain't gonna be able to go nowhere and get another loan.
But you're still in a better predicament as far as owning a home.
Yeah, they are, but in terms of like moving the real estate to make
Oh,
so that housing be affordable, so to speak, it's a supply and demand thing, and so we need to loosen up the supply of existing homes to
yeah.
try to have a little bit more of an even distribution, because right now they're really almost solely reliant on new construction. But from the credit reports and stuff that I'm seeing, like I said before, child, don't don't be jealous of nobody.
Oh no. So
It,
let
it's
me ask you
wild
this.
out there.
Let me ask you this right here. So you said that you've seen a difference, but so, and I don't know if you can explain it to me or not. What is the how is the housing market going with the new thing where you have to pay for your own realtor?
I haven't encountered that yet. I've had a couple of friends that have encountered that, but it doesn't seem to be an overwhelming wave like we thought it might be.
Okay.
Um, but it's also not that many houses being sold. These are the fewest amount of houses that have been sold since, I mean, in 30 years. And we also have to keep in mind that the sellers of a majority of those homes is new construction, those builders. So
Okay.
they're incentivizing. So it's not really a situation where it's like they ain't got it. No, they got deep pockets. They're incentivized because they want to move those houses so they can make
Yeah.
their profit, right? So I haven't encountered it. I would recommend people. I always say this is, and I'm not coming off it. Um, there's a tranche or a swath or a group of people, like, oh, well, what I need to do to get a house, and they only want to know the bare minimum, right? I don't encourage that. I want people to be qualified, fully, adequately qualified, so that you have options. And so I'm like, you need a 640 FICO score, because there has been, I mean, they got data points on absolutely everything. There's less than a 1% chance of a loan closing if somebody has a 580 FICO score. I don't make the news. I just report it. I got that from Ellie Mae. If somebody want to Google it, go ahead. Like, anytime I say something, I'm going to cite my sources. So a 640 FICO score that puts you in a situation where you don't be on pins and needles because you got to get a manual underwrite. A 640 FICO score because if things, the math don't math, you'll be eligible for lots of different down payment assistance options and opportunities.
Uh-huh.
It's so many things that come along with that credit score, because that credit score is representative of someone that is considered less likely to default on the loan. The lower the score is, the more risk that's being taken on, the more expensive it is to get in a house. So no, you're right, you can't buy a house because you're trying to get in a house and they're gonna charge you 2.5 points to get the interest rate, like those sort of things. So right now I say have 640 FICO score, have you a down payment of 3.5%, have your closing costs of 3.5%, and have you some coins left in the bank to move with. Don't have it coming down to the wire. I say this very loosely because I understand that expenses have gotten to be a lot higher. But here again, when we start talking about what's projected to happen with people, the haves and the have-nots, and that gap becoming wider, the people that got it, they're gonna be good. What everybody been doing this whole time? Shopping. They've been at the mall running up the credit cards. Y'all been on the internet. I see y'all on Instagram everybody having a ball, not saving no money, trying to look like they got more than they got. But the ones that I know for sure that got it. They've been in the house.
They not spending it at all.
They're not spending it. They in the house. They've been in the house. They've been in the house for 2 years, and they got it. They're not going to Cabo into Africa and whatever the cool continent or the cool country is. They're not doing it. They're in the house. And that is the biggest irony. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how everything plays out. Nobody wants the housing market to go down more than me. Okay. If it plummets for some reason, I benefit. Okay.
But how would you benefit if nobody's buying a house, though?
If the prices plunge, a lot of people will be able to buy houses.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were saying just not okay.
Yeah.
I
would benefit. It's gonna be great, but that's not gonna happen. It's the data isn't there to support it. Even for the few defaults that they have, and I seen an article earlier. I was gonna share it, but I was like, I shared too many articles. But there was a small uptick. It's like 3% of people that own homes are 30 days later more. Like that's not 7 million houses. Like,
yeah, no.
Don't worry about it, So I just, again, like I said, save your money. If y'all are interested in purchasing homes, save your money and just really get your money up. In terms of being very selective. Like I sincerely I congratulate you on what you're about to do with the transition that you're about to make. You did the research. You was like, oh, where the money reside, I'm going over there. And that's what more people need to do. Like, I am disgusted with myself that I got a master's degree in absolutely nothing. I'm pissed. I got a master's degree, like literally I have a master of arts degree in teaching middle grades, language arts 6 through 9. What I'm gonna do with it?
But you can use those skills for other things, and you use those skills.
I do.
Like with I will say this, even though you didn't need a master's degree to do the YouTube channel, it helps with your presentations. It helps with your talking points. It helps with a lot of stuff.
It does, but I want my money back. Like,
I'm trying to give you encouragement now. Look,
girl, look. If I could listen, they need to have some sort of like 10-year refund policy. Like, you can have it, but I don't even know what that degree is. I swear. I don't even know what that degree is. I don't know what a paper. I haven't seen it in 7 years. I don't know where it is. I don't know if I threw it away. I have no clue where it is.
You better find that paper as much as you pay for that paper, because for the simple fact that it's a master's degree, I know how much you done pay for that paper. That's that's like losing at least $10,000.
But had I been less emotional about, I want to be a teacher. Had I been less emotional and been more intentional and done more research, I may have possibly. No, I'm lying. I wouldn't have. But had I been more mature and been more forward thinking to do research and other things, it would have behooved me to get an MBA instead, or something in no, y'all don't want me doing no technology. That ain't
I've worked around different people that did technology. It don't take much.
That ain't the gift that God gave me.
Just follow directions. That's it.
I would have been probably a little bit more intentional about the trajectory that's down. And that's what happens a lot. Like we want to, oh, my baby went to college for what? What do you go to college for? To do what? Because if it doesn't translate in the real world, and I think that now we'll say this for minorities explicitly, Asians dominate. They are at the top of the food chain when it comes to incomes. People be like, it's the white people. No, baby.
Oh no, it's
It's
between
because
them
they are
and India.
intentional and they're pragmatic and they like, oh, this okay, this is what we're doing. And I implore the minority community to be the same way. Like 100,000 is the minimum, and it isn't like we're not capable of making $100,000. Like you just gotta have a skill set and go get it, go get to it. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, if you haven't seen it, you haven't been around it, it does become this pie in the sky, something that you feel like is unattainable. I remember when I first started working at this company, back in 2000, like in 2020, in 2019, I remember my manager was like, oh yeah, this person they make 250, this person made. I was like, shut the hell up! Ain't nobody making that type of fairy tale money. It's like, and I didn't
That's what
dismiss.
the issue
I thought it was
is.
ridiculous. I thought it was crazy, but then it became the norm, right? So it's like, oh okay, yeah, cool, like yeah, that should be yes, you know. So I fully understand that it's exposure is so important.
Absolutely.
And the market, the housing market that we're in, even though home affordability will become better as interest rates lower, the secondary problem is going to be the assets that you're going to have to use to compete, because the article said we had a 7 million unit housing shortage. So as interest rates come down, like y'all ain't the only ones that can increase your affordability. Other people are. A
Yeah.
lot of people are. So at the end of the day, people be so focused on income. I mean, people be so focused on credit, 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 credit. What my credit score gotta be? What's your income? This how how much money you make? What we got? And I say it in a polite way. Oh, okay. You want to know how much house you can? Okay. Typically, you can comfortably afford about 3 or 3.5 times your annual salary for a loan amount. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's a healthy number. And then people be like aghast. Look, I don't make the news. I just report it.
That's always been that way.
It's
There
always been that
and
way.
that's always been that way.
It's always
So
been. But people have been on TikTok fighting me in the comments when I did a video on YouTube actually talking about how you should appropriately budget. But they were like, no, you shouldn't have to make 3 times the rent. You should only have to make 2 times the rent. I said, do you understand what you asking for? Like the rules, they're percentages. The rules don't change. It's just really hard right now. And as long as people continue to hold on to what was okay 15 years ago, and they still think that $60,000 is the bee's knees for a family of four, it becomes to a point where it's like it choices got to be made. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool, that's fine. If that's because I remember I had a conversation with a guy. He's like, yeah, I support my kids and make 60,000. I like you can't raise that's no. And this was at the very beginning. This is in January 2023, and they was
I'm
throwing tomatoes at me.
barely.
They thought I was a lie. They was. I said 100,000 is the starting point. They was throwing tomatoes at me. I was the liar, and I'm like, okay. The litmus test in America for how am I doing is, can I buy a house? Because that is the cornerstone of wealth in
Mm-hmm.
America. Don't nothing, and everybody be so worried about the institutional investors and stuff. Now, I ain't saying like prior to Tuesday, this was my comment. I don't really know now. The way that the economy functions, we gotta have homeowners, because don't nothing else go without homeowners. The amount of employment that comes out of somebody building one house. You need blinds people, you need painters, you need people to make the furniture, you need flooring people. You know what I'm, you need decorators, you all these different things. It feeds so many other areas in the economy. You gotta have it. But like I said, oh, I don't know, honey, because it's a new day. Come back in 6 months and ask me. It might be different. I don't know. But no, thank you. I sincerely, I appreciate you
Thank you.
for sharing. You know, I really, no shade. I want everything to work out for you. You did what you felt was going to be the most beneficial, and I love that you said no. Like, I'm not just thinking about me. I'm looking at it as a society. So I hope, you know, that jobs increase their wages, you know, over the next couple of years. But we'll see. Only time will tell.
If not, we go get a skill. We can't wait on it no way.
Period. Right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you have a great evening. And
The
thank
same
you
to
so much for
you.
your videos, because you are very informative and I appreciate that. And I know that you can't get on but every so often, but I'll be looking for your videos.
Yeah,
So
I gotta get my life together. I'm trying to do it like November, December, because I'm like, I gotta get the views and stuff back. Because
oh yeah, because this is the time that
I got my
that
marching orders. The people said to be successful, you gotta have real estate. You gotta be a real estate investor or business owner. I gotta make some shit.
you got to do both. Yes. but, but
Y'all at
thank
my
you.
job right now.
But thank you so much, and thank
Thank
you for letting opening up the thing for
you.
comments and everything. So
Absolutely.
it's appreciated, and we'll
Absolutely.
just see how this goes. And hey, the only thing we could do is
That's the
just
only thing that you can do. Like, it's a 50-50 shot of being right or wrong. Like,
yep.
okay, you never know. I do. I want things to get better. Because like I said, I'm broke. So we see. We gonna see. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good evening.
You too.
All right.
But y'all, that was a good conversation. Y'all was tripping in the comments. Somebody, y'all was like, yeah, hold on. What was a comment? This one. Okay, so Harris offering $25,000 for homeownership. That was a horrible idea. Again, I'm being objective. Like, it's a gift. The Lord gave it to me. I can see things from so many different perspectives. The problem with this, so first of all, the first problem is people had a perception like this is the only one that's like that. The second problem is that people were, I gotta plug up my laptop. The second thing is that people were saying, it's for the immigrants. Damn it, it's for the immigrants that she wants them to have houses and not us. Okay, so as a blanket statement, I'll say with any down payment assistance program, you gotta look at the fine print and fully understand nothing is free. There is going to be an exchange. I'm doing something for you. How do I benefit? What am I getting out of this? How benefit? Because while the state, local agencies, governments, Congress, while they're funding it up front, they want a return on their investment. And a lot of times when we see people that have, I got $50,000 in down payment assistance, $100,000. Baby, let me tell you something. If don't nobody tell you this, please hear me. You have got to read the fine print on it. That a lot of times, if it's over, I say $25,000, that money is due. You can literally live in that house for 30 years and make payments for 360 months, which is 30 years. And they're going to be like, all right, you owe us $60,000 today. Well, go get $60,000. Oh, you mean you haven't been saving up? You haven't been socking money away this whole time? I've been in rooms that y'all haven't been in, y'all. Some of these programs are literally designed to just put you in the house and you're really not getting nothing from it. I was at an event earlier this year, and I'm not going to say what conference it was because I don't want to make anybody look bad. But one of the panelists and I were talking about a program, and I took the position of that's effed up. The benefit or the purpose of owning home is that you are supposed to gain equity. If you get in a house and you have taken $75,000, $100,000 in down payment assistance to get it, what have you benefited if your house don't go up in value $100,000 in the 15 years, 20 years that you live there? Because guess what, y'all? Your house is only supposed to go up in value 3-4% a year. All this that's been happening, that's not normal. That's not real. And you know, that person looked at me and said, with a straight face, but they're a homeowner. That's what they wanted. No, Kira. So you just got to be careful about that. And also, to incentivizing a market where we don't need a bunch of people like swooping in the market so we don't have enough houses, that wasn't going to work out. Shut up. Hold on. You lies. Are you kidding me? No, they're not. No, they're not. Are they? No, that's not. No, they're not. No, they're not. How? I heard, and I don't know this to be true. I heard on TikTok that they asking questions about like the PPP. So here's something that I say all the time is that when you go and you apply for a home loan, we don't believe nothing that you say. So we check everything that you say. We cross-reference everything, right? And the process almost works to the point where like we put you in a situation where you have to double down on what you said before. So if on your loan application, you said that you make $100,000 as the manager at Chick-fil-A, and then we're like, okay, give me your pay stub, and then you make a fake pay stub, and then we're going to call Chick-fil-A or get a written verification of employment for you being, having that. And then let's pretend you make it all the way through to the end. There's documents that you sign saying that you didn't lie. It's documents. It's like it's double, triple, quadruple, like multiple opportunities to get out of it, right? And so I feel like from what I've heard about like the PPP stuff, that's the scenario that they're creating. When people say this right here, like they still asking about it. Like, so the people that created businesses that weren't real businesses just to be able to get the money, even though that money has been forgiven, from what I understand, because I don't know. This hearsay, I don't work for people, I don't know. But the way that I understand it, because not even the way I understand it, this is fact. Fraud is fraud is fraud. Were you dishonest at any point in the process? Did you say that you're taking this money to pay employees and then you went to the mall? That is dishonest. You've committed fraud. Even if you had a business, how did you spend the money? So yeah, I guess I don't make the news. I just report it. Hey, Vaughn. I've been working from home too. This is a dream come true. I was so excited. So excited. Oh, you said become one with me needs to work with a realtor. That's what they saying. Y'all gotta be careful because I don't know what's we'll see what happens. That's the only way that I can leave it because I don't know how far unchecked power can go. Um there's certainly reasons to be concerned and alarmed for sure because I think they were like no they could be fired. You don't have the same security. I don't think he wants people to have the same security they had before. They're even asking for Judge Sotomayor to retire because she's 70. They're starting to call for her to retire. Like, now what now? Sir, you are 78. How does this work? Yeah. He want people to work multiple jobs. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what that I don't know what y'all talking about. Oh, that's me. Yo, Lord Elon Musk. Yeah, they say that he get ready to make a play. He get ready to take over the world. That's what they saying. He's gonna position himself to get a cabinet position and I don't know. Maybe we're gonna be going into space together. People like to identify as middle class, but they're not by income. I don't know. We need to adjust those definitions for sure. Cause y'all remember they had it was like a little graphic that was going around on social media. It was like poor, upper poor, middle class, rich. And they do need to redefine that for sure. They need to redefine that. Absolutely, 100%. And I hate this for me because my life was good before. Six Asians live next door. Everybody's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Okay. Well, y'all. Well, I sure do appreciate y'all. It's 3 hours. Like I think this was entertaining. I think it was entertaining and also informative. And that's what I try to do. I aim to do it. Like I don't want things to get like too heavy or anything like that. Um, it's just like I said, I have access to information that I do want people to have to be able to make intelligible decisions about purchasing homes. And I'm gonna start to kind of like try to expand out of that because I want to get my life together so that I can learn more about becoming a real estate investor. I don't know nothing about that life. And I want to share that with y'all because some of y'all might want to, do something like that. So I'm going to start expanding beyond just talking about primary home ownership and refinancing. I want to talk a little bit more just about, finance and just like making it. Because one thing I have always said about myself is I'm good at life. Um, I'm good at life. I don't know, like I've been very blessed. Even when I'm in shambles, like it just, I take risks, and sometimes I think we can be risk averse. Um, but I can tell you from things that I've seen previously, scared money don't make money. And people that, oh no, I could never have a job where I was commissioned. I gotta get my $2,200 a week. Okay, well you ain't buy no house because that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So I want to try to evolve my content just a little bit, just expand it a little bit outside of that, so that whatever comes, regardless of, who's in the White House for these next 4, 8, 12. I guess if he's 78, he could be there another 20 years, because he say he's not leaving. So let's see what we can figure out. You said, where do I see rates going? I don't know, child. The people be lying to me, so I be lying to y'all. I don't know. I have no idea. I do not know. But the one piece of advice that I can give you is be comfortable at whatever interest rate you have. You cannot buy a house trying to time the market. That's not a way to buy a house, because then you ain't never gonna buy a house. That's like waiting for the perfect time to have a baby. You can't. You ain't never gonna have enough money, because these jokers is expensive. It's just not gonna happen. So whenever you feel financially stable, whenever you have enough money for a down payment, like, I think a great measuring stick is, if you have enough money to save up a down payment and closing costs, you'll be fine, because that requires you to have a gap between your expenses and your income. And people don't seem to understand that you don't do rent. Like, people be like, oh, I want this rent, and they think their mortgage gonna do this. No, where is your money? Because your mortgage, you go from rent, mortgage. What is in this gap? Where is this money at between the rent and the mortgage payment that you're forecasting? Why don't you have this gap that you've been able to consistently sock away and still live your life? Because if you're not able to consistently have this gap, how are you going to consistently make the payment? If you are spending, just an example, if you're spending $1,600 a month in rent, and in your area, because I don't know where y'all live, but in your area, if you live in a more urban area and home prices are north of $350,000, and your payment is going to have to be, I don't know, I'm making this up, it's going to have to be $3,000 a month. Where is this extra $1,400 at? Where is it? Why don't you have it? Because if you don't have it today, how you going to magically get it when it's time for that first payment to roll around? So it's not about the rates. It's just about, have you created an environment of financial stability? Do you have some savings above and beyond the down payment and the closing costs? That is huge. Okay. But I don't know. I saw something today. They was like, it might go up to 8%. I also saw something today that said that if Trump gets his way, the inflation can go up another 10% over the next 2-3 years. I don't know. The cycle says cyclically we should be headed down. We should be headed down. And also, historically, if there's a recession, history says that interest rates fall 1 to 3 percentage points after a recession. Again, I don't make the news. I just report it. This is Googleable. I promise I'm not making it up. So right now we're not in a recession. So I don't know. The trajectory that they were hoping for, I don't think a lot of people saw this outcome for the election. I'll be honest, I don't. I think they did and they didn't. And I think it's kind of I think they saw it, but they did. I think they were planning for one thing, because I think they thought America was like thinking, you can't incite an insurrection and be the president. Oh, well, he got felonies. He be talking about black people eating watermelon. And they probably like, okay. But it didn't play out that way. And so, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. That, like I said, the trajectory that a lot of people thought we would be on, we're kind of I guess like a holding pattern until things settle down a little bit and we're able to get a little bit clearer about some of the appointments that he's going to have for some of these cabinet positions, until things are a little bit more clear about, because the people are like worried about the tariffs. Some people are like, no, that's a stupid idea. Somebody will get in his ear and be like, are you all right? And might talk him off the ledge. I don't know. They're forecasting mass economic failure if he like, okay, everybody get on the bus and get out. Then it's like, well, how you gonna pay for it? It's a whole thing. It's so many moving parts, and the way that he thinks is so emotional and not, how we gonna pay for this? How we gonna cover this? It's like, no, just do it, get it done. So I don't know, but just understand interest rates have been 18% before. Matter of fact, I was watching Joe Scarborough, and I'm gonna close out with this. I was watching Joe Scarborough yesterday morning, the morning after the election. Joe Scarborough said that this has been the best Republican win. No, he said the biggest wave of red that he has seen since Ronald Reagan in 1984, when Ronald Reagan won 49 out of 50 states. And this is Googleable too, because like I said, I don't say stuff. That one thing that master's degree taught me was to cite my sources. Interest rates was at 18%. Do I think interest rates gonna get to 18%? No, I didn't say that. But what I am saying is it's happened before. So I would like to be optimistic and say prepare. I'm gonna do what I think I might be able to do. I had to get some help. I asked ChatGPT. But it's certainly, the board is set for the winners to keep winning, and the losers to keep losing. And for people that don't take this shift or this change in administration, not just at the executive branch, but also all of the supporting players, the supporting team, all the chess pieces are in place to just do whatever. No checks and balances. I ain't never lived through this before, so I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know how it's supposed to work. I don't know how it's supposed to work. So, like I said, the best advice I can give you: stop spending money. Stop trying to act like you got it when you don't. Save the money that you got. Pay off the debt that you got. If you own a house, I'm sorry. I know this sounds like I'm promoting myself, but baby, you go ahead and get that cash out refinance. Free up your cash flow so you can live, so you can eat every month, so you can feed your kids. Because I don't know if things are going to get more expensive or not. Nobody does. I don't know. I don't know. But I am taking it very seriously. I'm not taking it as a plaything. And as a person that has been raised in a church, I've been in church my entire life. I wish I could kick this cussing habit, but hey, whatever. We all have our struggles. This whole, well, God got it. I ain't worried because God is the answer, child. You better come back down here on earth. That's cute. That's cute in theory, but we coming up with practical solutions. Okay, you need to have a plan, a real one, not this hopes and wish and maybe. No, that's not a plan. Well, God gonna take care of me. Oh, child, oh, baby. That's what them slaves said too. I don't think it was a very pleasurable experience from what I heard, from what I read. That is not an answer. That is not an answer. That's not a solution. You have to plan actionable steps. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of a SMART goal, but if you haven't, Google SMART goal. A SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable. I forgot the R with time. I think relatable and time and a set time, a deadline. That's how you create goals. A lot of times people, I want to buy a house next year. Okay, great. It's on my vision board. No plan. This is going to take planning, and it's going to take maybe potentially. Now, I'm not talking about buying a house. I'm just talking about living. It's going to take some sacrifice, potentially. Because, I mean, you might get it like that. I don't know. Because some people, like on TikTok, it's a lot of people on my TikTok, they make more than $200,000. Like a lot of people that follow me on TikTok, they got it. They be living paycheck to paycheck too, some of them, but you know. Just approach cautiously. I don't want anybody to be doomsday, but just approach cautiously. Pay attention. Read. It's real easy to get on social media and scroll through and get your news that way, because sometimes I find myself doing that. Read. Multiple sources. You watch CNN, I hear you. Click on over to Fox News too. Make a comparison. Compare and contrast. Use critical thinking skills. What sounds right? What makes sense? That's okay. Research. Understand cause and effect. Like, okay, like Google, when does the last time this shit happen? Like, what the fuck going on? Like, how does this work? Plan around facts, not emotions. Because what happened on Tuesday was extremely emotional. For some people. That 38%, super emotional. Well, it's the housing prices. You thought, so let me make sure, you thought that the housing prices was going to come down? Like, I'm going to cast my ballot and housing prices going to come down and I'll be able to, you couldn't have thought that. I'm going to cast my ballot and he's going to cut interest rates. Okay, cool. But to be able to arrive at that, it would have required research. And that's the part, that's why I say it's emotional. You know, it's more emotional. And just be cognizant of the sales tactics and the propaganda that you may see that's going to get your juices flowing and get you all hot and bothered. But just plan. That's all I say. Plan. You can never go wrong with saving your money, ever. No one in the history of life has ever said, damn it, I got too much money in the bank. Ever. Never. I've never run into a scenario where somebody said, my credit score too damn high. It don't happen. So that's why I say that. And that's what I'm going to be doing too. Because like I said, these past two years, they whoop my ass. They whoop my ass. But I don't know. But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all support. If y'all haven't hit the like, please, I'm begging at this point. Can y'all please, for the engagement, to get this out. I sincerely appreciate y'all hanging out with me for the last 3 hours. I gotta do this more regularly. I don't know. I've recorded some videos that I am gonna upload. YouTube is changing. It's starting to look a little bit like TikTok, and I don't know what the hell going on, because I be so worried about like the quality of the content and the cameras and the lights, and I be seeing people. I'm like, what are you in your car? Like, what are you doing? Is that your camera phone? What? Okay, so if I don't gotta put no effort into it, I'll be over here all the time. But that's not what I want to deliver. I want to be intentional. I want to try to anticipate what it is that you all might need, what you all like might want to talk about, what you all might want to know. And the feedback, comments, things like that is extremely pivotal and extremely helpful for me to be able to literally it becomes production. It's I'm producing something. So it's really, really helpful. If y'all would give me that feedback. So please share, like, subscribe, all of that jazz. Thank you. I appreciate that, Michael. That is so extremely helpful. You could put a little something in the collection plate since you like it so much. Okay, thank you so much. Love you. All right, y'all. See y'all next time. Do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with God, y'all. I'm going to say we're going to be all right, but we're going to find out. Y'all have a good night.